to get that information, to get the right information for you and for you to grow personally, because it's very important you grow personally. The more you grow or the better you become personally, the better your business or your career become as well. Praise the Lord. Now let's welcome for the very first session, let's welcome Mrs. Bolatito Jolayemi. She's going to take us through grant writing and pitch deck. Let's put our hands together for Mrs. Bolatito. She's going to join us shortly. Sound, can you please? Okay, let's put our hands together for her, please. Thank you. I hope you are here with your writing pad and your pen. It's very important.
Good evening, everyone. Please, I'm waiting for my slides, so maybe you just give me like a minute or two for the media to sort that. Okay. So once again, good evening. I want to take us through writing grants for our businesses or for academics. We understand that it's not everybody here that is into business. And there are people in academics or in their career and they want to write a grant or apply for maybe research grant or something for their academics. The truth is all of us cannot be business owners, and at the same time all of us will not go through the career route. So whichever way it is, I'm trusting that the Holy Spirit will help us so that you are able to relate it to your situation. Amen. So the introduction, I'm not sure they were able to get it. So for businesses, funding is needed by both business and academia, just like our normal dreams in life. There's really nothing that we are doing that we don't need a certain kind of push to move it forward. If I'm using one shop for my business today, I need something to support me in form of money for me to expand it, probably make the shop bigger or increase it to 2 or 3 as the case may be. And also in academics, if you are into academics, the people in academics, maybe someone that is doing his PhD or MSc, there are some of the project work that they do that requires big tasks for them to do, or they want to go deeper into whatever they are trying to research on. So there's need for funding in this. So we are going to go through how to prepare a pitch deck on writing, on applying for grants and innovation. Before we start that, there are different kinds of grants. It could be women-based, it could be gender-based rather. It could be for undergraduates. Grants could be for, they are basically like free money that people give you. It's not a loan. They just give it to you to support your business. When they are giving it for a business owner, it is usually to scale the business, to increase the business, to improve on the operation of the business. If they are giving it to someone in academic, is usually focused on social impact. Maybe like if you are able to do this, if you give you money to do this, who are the people that will be affected in the environment? Take for instance, you are doing something or you are doing a research on malaria. So you are not going to open a shop and be saying, so how will that research, how will you studying about that particular thing, how does it improve the environment? So for academic impact based. So what are the key ingredients of winning grant? The first one is clarity of purpose. You have to understand why you need the money. Most time we say that I've applied for grants and they've not given me any of it. But the truth of the matter is, if you truly understand the why of whatever you are presenting, you are asking for a grant for your business, you're asking for a grant for your research, if you truly understand the why of why you need it, you will be able to defend it very well. And maybe even if people still ignore it at the beginning, because of course you are still starting, and for everything that anyone is building, process has to happen to it. So even if they choose to ignore it at that time, a time will come that you would catch the attention of someone. The person will understand that, oh, this person truly understands what he or she is doing. This person knows what he's doing. So if you are writing a pitch deck for business, the basic is usually like, just prepare maximum of 10 to 12 slides. You don't want it to be too much. You are not putting jargons in it, in quotes. They are called jargons. Like if you are putting the whole story, when I started in Abeokuta, I now went to Itoku to buy something. They don't need all of those things. So if you are writing a grant for business, the clarity of purpose. The second thing is alignment with funders' goals. Like I said, there are different kinds of grants. And there is usually something they call eligibility criteria, which means that if I'm putting out a grant for business today, I will put some criteria. It could be that I'm saying the set of people that I want to apply for this grant, all of them must be women. Number 2, they must be between the age of 18 to 30. Number 3, they must have maybe like a BSc holder. They must be graduates. So those are the eligibility criteria for that particular grant. So if someone is now applying as a male, the moment they start shortlisting, you have number 1, disqualification. A man cannot apply for the grant. Number 2, if I'm tailoring the grant to people that are in fashion business, and I see someone in agric writing the grant, number 2, disqualification. I'm not going to give it to the person. The third one, the person is 46 years old. I'm not going to give it to the person. So you look at the alignment with the funder's goal. If he says, I'm looking for women between this age, let it align with that. Then the third one is impact and sustainability of that particular thing that you are looking for. So what's going to be the impact of whatever you want to do? I'm not just going to take grants because I want to open 2 shops for myself. Yes, it's very good. But that may be my personal goal. It may be my personal dream. So how does it affect the people in the area? Is it going to be that I'm going to say, if I get this grant, I'm going to train 40 women for free on the act of tailoring or fashion designing? That way, I've not only helped myself, they give me the money, they know that 40 other women is going to be affected in the society. And that's like a beautiful one. There's no funder that will ignore that, so to say. Amen. So, what are the basics of writing a pitch deck? The first thing that you are writing is your title and the background. There will be a title page for that which you are writing. The first page is going to carry, okay, this grant was prepared by Fola Achudume, or it was prepared by my business name. I put it there. Presented by who is presenting. Of course, you can write a business for your grant. You can write a grant for your business. But if you know that you are not very eloquent and you will not be able to present when the time comes, you can put in someone to present the grant for you. The person is just going to be a part of your team. So you have the title and background. Then you have the problem that particular thing you are writing for is going to solve. For us as entrepreneurs or for people in academic, there are so many problems in the world. And for anybody to give you their money, there are some people that they can fund you without asking for anything. They are not giving you criteria. They are not asking you to do this or do that. But you have to have a problem. The fact that there are people like that does not mean that you shouldn't understand the problem. Take, for instance, I sell jewelry. And if someone is asking me, what's the problem that is in the world that jewelry is solving, I make it and I sell it. So for me, I had to go and research that, and I found out that in Maslow hierarchy of needs, maybe the second or the third one, he said that the human being have the tendency to want to feel among. You know, when I enter into this place, I want to feel like I'm a very beautiful person. I want to feel like I'm turning heads, not necessarily because I want to maybe get men now, but naturally, we just all like to feel important. That is what informs the decision of us picking a dress. If I want to wear a clothes, I'll say, no, this one, I don't like it. There's something your mind is saying, even though you are not really interpreting anything. But at that time, you're saying, no, I won't feel so important in this. And that's where people like me now fall into. So when I want to market my product, I'm not going to be marketing like someone that sells food is marketing their product. So I'm going to say that, okay, when you put on this, you're going to look gorgeous. That means I'm selling emotion. What I eventually want to say is probably earring or necklace. But I will have to now find a way to appeal to the emotion of who I'm selling to. So what's the problem that I'm solving? I will say that I'm solving the problem of self-esteem. It's not a physical thing, but I want something that people will put on and they are very confident and they feel beautiful. When you are beautiful as a woman, when you know within you that you are beautiful, you can walk in and you will feel very fine. So for me, if I'm writing a grant for myself, that's the kind of problem that I'm going to write. So the next thing that you are going to write after that is the solution that you are preferring to that problem. It's not enough for a problem to be in the world. It could be that you are selling wig. Yours could be anything. It could be agricultural produce, whatever it is you are selling. So what's the problem behind you starting that business? And then what's the solution that your business is now preferring to that problem? For an academic person, they will also write the problem, but for them, they will not write like the methodology. For us in business, we write it as solution. They will write the methodology. This is the problem that I found out, that there's malaria in a place like this. We are trying to find a way to solve it. So the problem of them, the part of them preferring a solution to that is their own methodology. Just like we are writing academic projects in our final years in school. So you are going to include things like the outcome of that particular solution that you have preferred. So what's going to be the outcome? For business people, is usually traction. Call my husband, please, can you help me to get purple color, whatever, for what I'm making? So it's part of my team. It may not, I will not write it as a part-time team member, but it's part of my team. Someone in my production team, maybe just two of us craft the jewelry. That person is part of my production team. For deliveries within Abeokuta, I have to find someone in church, brother Yomide. So it's the one that helps me deliver within Abeokuta. I just tell them I have someone that I work with. So like that, myself and Ayomide don't have an official agreement as to that, but it's part of my team. It's working with me in that angle. So sometimes you just find out that when you truly look deep, you see that you have up to 3 or 4 team members. So when you are writing, what should you do when you are writing? You just use simple languages. There's no need for you to put big grammars in what you are doing. So use simple languages. The second thing that you should do is that you tell a story. Tie it around a story. I can start writing my grant from, there's this lady, when I'm writing the problem now, there's this lady, her name is Clara, and she's this, she's that. So I can just briefly describe her situation, and then I tie it to, so that I can give a broader picture of our problem. So when you're able to place a face or have a picture in mind for someone that, maybe someone is gisting you, story always works, literally. If I'm talking to you and I say that, there's this friend of mine, she said it's very easy for you to stay hooked to me, to the end. So as I'm writing the problem, I'll be preferring the solution to that Clara lady that I mentioned at the beginning. So like that. Then the third thing is that you keep the slides visual and engaging. It's not necessary that it's just in black and white. You can just put it. My brand color is purple. So whatever I do, I just try to chip in a little purple here and there in the slides. So what are the mistakes that you should avoid? Like I've said, don't put overloading text unrealistic budget. If I'm writing, um if the person giving the grant is saying I'm giving out 2.5 million, I'm not putting a budget of 6 million in it. It's unrealistic. That person already said that my budget is within this. So don't ignore the funder's objective and don't put too much jargon. So how do you prepare for a pitch? The first thing is that you research your funder. Try to look at the company. What do they do in that company? So that when you are talking, it's more like you are going for a job interview. When you are talking, you are able to relate with their vision and the mission of that particular organization. Then you tailor the pitch deck. You practice your delivery. I once presented there and someone said that you did very well. It was supposed to be a preaching for me. So the feedback I got was that you did very well for a presentation. But for preaching, maybe you're still at the middle or below average. That was, so now if I'm going to do something that is spiritual or that is happening in the church, I know the kind of energy I'm going to add to myself. If I'm going to do this, the voice I'm using with you right now is okay for what I'm doing because, of course, I'm just explaining things to you. So you practice your delivery. How do you want it to look like? You can do it to a mirror, and then you anticipate questions. Most of the time, when we don't apply for grants, it's because we don't want them to ask us questions. If you know your business very well, then you should not be afraid to answer the questions. And even if you don't get the questions correctly, one thing I tell myself is they are not going to cut off my head. They will still leave me to get to my house in one piece, and I will go and make. The first time I pitched, it was in DaySpring in that hall, and maybe I had just 2 days. People were in that team, and I was supposed to lead the team, and nobody showed up. Submit. So I was not part of the team at all. I was just supposed to just maybe help them, put them through, and they didn't show up. Nobody responded on the WhatsApp and told him that, is it possible for me to present for my business? And he said, yes, I did everything, profitability of my business, the number of people I want to reach, and all of that. I stood in front of them. If all die and I die today, I will just do it. And it gave me clarity on that business. That was the first, I did the clarity because I went to read about it, so I was able to put it together for my business. By the time I presented, they now showed me how to now cost just a single piece of my product. They told me the percentage and all of that. So sometimes I would encourage that if you see it, just apply for it. It could be physical, it could be online. Apply for it so that you are using it to build your muscle. No matter how little, just 1% of something will be added to you. And that which there's nobody that can take it away from you. And your business will be better by 1%. You could still have a long way to go, but your business is already better by that 1%. And I believe that's a big deal. So business, if you are comparing the business pitch versus the academic pitching now, the clarity is part of it. It's common to the two of them. Impact and result is also common to the two of them. And the difference is that for business, it's revenue and growth. Everybody that wants to give your business money wants to see how you want to use it, wants to see that if I give you 50K, in the next 6 months, what will my 50K turn to in your hand? So for business, that's why you will prepare to answer those questions. That this is how I'm going to market. This is where I will take. If people are not showing up on my social media pages, I will carry my jewelry and enter banks and tell them that this is what I do. You have to be able to explain that very well to them. For academic, is knowledge and then society impact. So in conclusion, I would say that grants and pitches, they require clarity, storytelling, and that you know your audience very well. Show impact and be authentic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Jolayemi. That was quite in-depth. And I was able to jot 1 or 2 things. I'm sure you were able to jot 1 or 2 things as well. If you're just joining us in the auditorium, welcome to Business Summit. And this is just one of the things we do to commemorate our anniversary, DaySpring Chapel's anniversary. We turned 13 this year, to the glory of God. And thank you. And the plan is for us to grow, to get better, personally, business-wise, career, and to also attract some other benefits and opportunities attached to you being better. It attracts what you command. Hallelujah. Okay, so from this particular one, I have learned a lot, especially the part where she talked about what to do when writing. And that reminds me of my own career. Now, when it comes to writing, clarity is very important. And there's something that we use in my line of work. We call it the 3S. Keep it short, simple, and straight to the point. The 3S are very, very important. So when she talked about using simple language, and also when she talked about clarity, it is very, very important that you adopt that. We are going to open up the room for questions and answers. But before then, let's invite Mr. Dotun Bayegun. Is going to take us through writing, CV writing this afternoon. And after that, this evening, I beg your pardon. And after that, we'll move on to question and answer. So please write down your question. You can jot it down somewhere so that you will not forget. Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for him.
Thank you very much. Good evening once again, everyone. And hope you're having a nice time in the house. So my name is Bayegun Adedotu Ayodeji, a PhD student of FUNAB, and I'm a public health researcher and data analyst. So here this evening, I will be presenting on mastering CV and resume writing for career persons and entrepreneurs. Please come with me. Particularly in the house, we have fresh graduates from FUNAB and FC respectively that just recently completed an NYSC, and CV and resume is a very important ingredient for you to move forward in your career. So what is CV? Your CV is your personal marketing tool, which is more like your initial point of contact between the employee or your client and yourself. And why is CV very, very important? 75% of recruiters, if not more, use the applicant tracking system known as the ATS to filter out candidates before human review. So most times you need to tailor your CV to a new profession in order for you to scale through the first level of this review. Also, we have what is known as the 6-second scan rule. Hiring managers spend roughly about 6 seconds scanning CV, looking for keywords, clarity, and immediate impact, which are critical for CV development. Also, CVs and resumes boost your interview chances. So if you develop your CV properly, there's a 40% chance or likelihood for you to be called for an interview. However, there's a difference between the CV and the resume. There's a difference between the CV and the resume. For a CV is a comprehensive and detailed document, usually more than 2 pages. And it's often used for academic and research purposes or for international roles. It should cover all your entire professional history, and emphasis should be laid on publications, presentation, and research. That's why I said it is majorly for the academic or research purposes. On the other hand, resume is a concise summary of your personal life or professional development, usually about 1 to 2 pages, and it focuses on the relevant skill and experience for a specific job or opportunity. Entrepreneurs often use the resumes to highlight skills, achievement, and business impact succinctly. And this is designed for quick readability and immediate impact. So now we're moving to the applicant tracking system. That's the ATS. Most firms or most companies, most times when we submit our CV and we realize that they didn't get back to us, these hiring organizations use what is known as the ATS to first do a review before calling the suitable applicants. So they search for keywords that were used for the job. And example, if you are enrolling as a site engineer, there are some keywords that will be in that opening that will be used. When this is not there, the ATS is like an AI, so that detects it. So it sieves out those without the keywords and sends in those with his keyword to the hiring managers. So you should use clear sessions such as experience. You shouldn't just, that's work experience instead of career experience, because these are traditional terms that have been used over and over again. Education, skills, those are the traditional terms and or headings that you should use for your CVs or resumes. So now, how should you design your CV? First, use a minimalistic layout. Use clean designs with clear that are easy to scan, both by humans and ATS. Use ATS-friendly elements. Avoid complex graphics, tables, and unusual color. That is not that maybe you're an expert in graphics design, so you want to now design your CV or your resume with different colors. You want to add indigo plus magenta purple, tomato purple, and the like that. You want to make it look fancy. You should try as much as possible to avoid it so that there won't be confusion in the ATS software. And also, we should stick to the standard font and format. We should stick to format commonly used, such as the area format or Calibri. So, and also ensure that you either save your CV or your resume as a PDF or Word document. Ensure that your CV is kept simple, professional, and keyword optimized every time, because this beats being flashy. So, essential CV and resume session. First is your contact information. You should provide your name, your professional email, your phone number, your LinkedIn profile, if you have one. And I believe every professional should have one, either as a business person or as a career person. In whatever field you find yourself, you should have an updated LinkedIn profile. So avoid using your full address. So then the next one is the professional summary that people call maybe personal statement or something like that, that you just want to tell us about yourself in 2 or 3 sentences about the value that you want to offer to the firm. Then followed by the work experience. And this should be listed in chronological order from the most recent to the least recent. So if you did a job last month, which was July, you should put that ahead of the one that you did in January. You shouldn't put a job based on maybe the role you performed or maybe the pay that you were given. So, and you should also try as much as possible to emphasize on achievements and quantify these results over duties. Let's say, for example, we did a survey recently and we are the data analyst. So you shouldn't say, I collected data from Shomori Axis. You should be able to say, oh, I sampled over 50% of women living around Olonshogo Iyanomoshari Axis. You should be able to quantify your achievement, not just list it that, oh, I came for data collection, and then you analyze the data and this was the result. So show us what you have done, quantify your result over your duties. Then after the work experience session, you move into the education section. And just like the work experience session, the education section must also be in chronological order. If your highest level of education as a tertiary student is secondary school, definitely you have not finished the university. So your highest, you can just put your university as maybe awaiting if you have maybe a graduation date in mind. But you know, typical of Nigerian educational system, you might say you graduate 2020 and ASU will come and you finish in 2027. So if your highest level of education, then followed by maybe primary, depending on the job role, maybe you are looking for a sales girl in, let's say, Kilimanjaro now. And that's why they say that OND, NC, and so they look at people that may be SSC, school leavers that can do that. So then what are your skills? After the education session, what are your skills? What do you have? What are your certifications? Oh, I took a course in data analysis. I took a course in project management. I went for a workshop in grant writing. I took a course in this. I did that. I did a program on so and so. You highlight it. And if you're in the academics, there's something they call publish. If you do not publish, you are going into oblivion. Nobody that you are existing because you just go to the field, you collect data year in, year out, and nobody knows such data. So in this you have done in publication. And for another student, fresh graduate, like you did project, did your final year project yourself. Let's assume you have somebody to do it for you. So you can say, oh, you looked at the effect of food and feeding on the weight, be white rat, albino rat. You just say thesis, Department of Aquaculture and Fish Management is part of your work. So you can just say unpublished if you are going to, if the job is an academic job, or you look at the effect of educational material on the performance of chemistry students in selected secondary schools in Abeokuta. You have not published it, but it's your work, so you can put it as part of your publication. And maybe you went for some conferences and all, then you highlight your soft skills and technical skill. What can you do? You have Microsoft skill. You can do PowerPoint. You can do Word. You have high proficiency or intermediate or even a beginner level in Excel. Please do not hide yourself because you are selling it. A CV is like you lighting a candle and putting it on a lampstand. Your CV is what sells you first. Just like my sister that came for the pitch and grant talk, those are what sells you before you are even allowed into the room to come and express yourself. So also, while writing your CV, use action verbs. Use action verbs. Analyzed, led. I led a team of 5 people in collecting data from Oyon Dam area of Ogun State. I supervised a team of data collectors where we assessed maternal health outcomes in selected health facilities in Ogun State. I did this. So you use action verbs. Oh, I developed a multidisciplinary plan that cut across different sectors in Nigeria, and then you now list the outcome of those results. Oh, you increased the enrollment maybe for drug intake because we have cases of drug rejection. Maybe you now say, oh, I want to look at it, and that was what you did. That was your job role. So you increase the enrollment of drug intake among attending a federal medical center like that. So you use action verb to do what you said. And I've already said that you quantify your achievement. You manage a team of 10, you increase sales by 10%, and you did this. You also try as much as possible to maintain a professional objective tone throughout your document. Common mistakes to avoid. What are common mistakes to avoid when writing your CV? Spelling errors, grammatical error, and thank God for AI now. We have Grammarly that when you are typing, it will help you to highlight that this word will be corrected. And also, you should know that this is Nigeria. We are adopting the United Kingdom writing style. So if your Word document default setting is in the United States, that's the US, you see that it might not show you that you are having an error to UK. Underline it in red that you should change the word to the UK format. So you should look out for spellings and grammatical errors, which are red flags. And you should also always proofread your CV and seek a second opinion. Seek a second opinion. Send it to your mentor, send it to your colleague, your classmate, let them proofread for you. Your CV is not like exam that they want to copy your answer. So you should share with your mentor, someone that you see as a mentor. When you help me to look at it, does it fit the role? And I want to highlight that CVs differ by role, just like the grant and pitch deck differs by role. CV differs by role. If for example, you are applying for a grant, they will only ask you to submit a bulk sketch. A bulk sketch is like half a page of everything that you have ever done in this life. Let's say you're an academic, you publish 50 papers. Or to your career, what you just put for publication is 50 editions. You are not going to be telling us, Bolu Artifact or 2019 did this. You're not going to be saying Dotun or something. You tell us you have 20 publications about sketch. So you must always tailor your CV based on what is needed at that particular time. Also, another mistake to avoid is that you should avoid the use of passive language. Like I said, use active verbs. Use active, don't use phrases like I was responsible for. What were you responsible for? Don't use passive phrases. Use action that let the people know that you are capable, that you have that tenacity to carry out whatever role you are applying for. Avoid poor formatting, inconsistent fonts. Maybe the body of the work was 12, size 12. Then at the very beginning where you are talking about references, you now use font 9. We barely see it. So maybe you started with Times New Roman, and at the end, the mid part, you used Taoma. Taoma is a type. Or at the end, towards the ending part, you came back to calibrate heading. not even calibrate body now. There's calibrate heading, there's calibrate body. There are different font types. So ensure that if you are going with one, you are going with it throughout. And maybe peradventure, if you have a job role that you want to apply for, always read the instruction. There are instructions that come with some of this, how you should tailor your CV. Like now, FNAB is recruiting, and they ask that people that want to apply should tailor their CV. You see number 1, Roman figure, I, full name, I, address, I, like that. So you have to follow that format. So each role has their own format, or each organization has a way that you must tailor the CV. So you must follow that formatting to reduce unprofessional act. Or you must also look at the length. Particularly for me, it's just 1 to 2 pages. Don't come and tell us that you primary school as a tertiary degree earner, maybe you are done with university. Primary school education should not even be part of your CV again. Not that you went to anti-BC and primary school with career cocoa. It's nobody's business. You have left that CV right now in the university. No, and hiring someone that wants to hire you does not have any business with that information. So also, if it's not academic, but if it's academic CV, you must put all your details. So that's why it's more than 2 pages. You have to tell us what research you have done. You have to tell us what grants you have won. You have to tell us what publication you have and the likes. So paying attention to details in developing your CV and resume is not negotiable. So what to leave off your CV in 2025? This is 2025. We are more like in the digital age now. ChatGPT can even help you to do your CV in less than 30 seconds. It's just analyzing. Before you close and come back, it will ask you that are you ready to download it or to send it to your email. So first, your confidential information. No salary details of previous or present employment or reference section. All those that you say that referee available on request. If they want to employ you, they will tell you back, they will get back to you and ask you to supply your referee. Not that available on request. Why do I want to request for your referee when you are available? Or when it will be available when you request it. So and most of them even send the email directly to your referee for them to fill. So also you should leave off your personal details. Avoid photos. Full home address, number 12, in your Fola Street, Edwambon, Ileve, or Osun State. Nobody wants to come and visit you. So also avoid outdated attestation, like I said. Not that you put your primary school details and the likes. So, and also remove redundant phrases, things that you don't need. So keep your CV concise. Aim for 1 page. Use, unless you have more than 10 years of extensive relevant experiences. It's not that, like when I started, for example, before I came for NYC in FUNAB, I took school in Osho. So then, when I finished NYC, I used to put that class teacher. Over 70% people passed chemistry. I taught chemistry and then civic education. Over 70% passed mathematics in junior school. But now, I can't even remember it being in my CV again. If for example, we are applying for a data analyst role, maybe with the state government or with an NGO and ask me to submit the CV, the first thing I will do is I will put the NGO, all the NGOs I've worked with for like 5 years now, just put it in and just removed every other thing. Because they want to see that you are capable to do that role they are applying for. And they want to see that you can give them the results. And also if you're applying for PISH or maybe grant, they want to see if you have handled grant before. They want to see if you've been able to perform. So you have to put those details up and let people see it and remove outdated information. So now, leveraging on AI and digital to perfect your CV. So you can use tools like ChatGPT, jobscan.co, and a host of others to tailor your keywords and optimize formatting for specific role. So you can use, thank God for AI, there are a lot of AI now. Even the PowerPoint I'm using, just yesterday night I did it with AI. Gamma.ai. I just said develop a 10-page slide. Give me thank you for listening page. It just gave me everything and I just downloaded it and I'm coming. Just read it, moved the front page and added my name. I'm the one that did it. So AI now makes life easy. So just use it to tailor your CV. Look for keywords from the job keywords. You're looking for somebody with an experience in this. Maybe SEO skills, maybe Microsoft skill, maybe SQL, Python, Power BI, and the likes. So you can look for my CV to a role of data analyst with experience in SEO and Power BI, you just see that it will just bring it up and ask you to load it as a document. So you should use clean digital link. You know, now recently US, after banning putting restriction on Nigerian applying for visa, and they now said you also submit your digital footprint. Always ensure that you keep clean digital footprint, because some of these hiring managers, they put your LinkedIn profile, just a name, searching your name, and then maybe Facebook pops up and the like. So you need to keep clean digital links. Maybe avoid long URLs or QR codes that can maybe disrupt the readability of your CV. Keep short URLs. Don't say, oh, you know, some people HTTPS /, you know, see percentage, percentage. So now there's a way you can shorten it and make your CV to be more readable, particularly if you are submitting the link online. So then also regularly update your CV. Like I was saying, the job I did last week, it's already in my CV. You cannot just wake me up by midnight. I will give it to you. Give me 5 minutes. I'll send it to you. So regularly update your CV, because you don't know when you need it. It's like a thief in the night. When it comes, if you don't have it in your lamp, you have to go back and buy. And before you come back, somebody has gone with matter. Yeah, you now come and start crying. So CV, regularly updating your CV enables you to stay relevant and adapt in an ever-changing job market. The job market is constantly changing, so you need to update your CV. So also another way to improve your CV is by attending workshops or webinars to gain insight on practical skills. Workshops or conferences, either online or physical, enables you to interact and see beyond your present world. There are a lot of things that people are doing that you are not even aware of, and you feel you are of the village, one eye in the midst of the blind. But when you go out, you see people, their body is full of light, and they don't even stumble. And you have one light. We have one eye, and some people's body is full of eyes, and they see always. They are up to date. So when you interact with these people, you will be able to gain insight and practical skills. So now, what are the key takeaways? First, you must tailor your applications to the specific job description. And 2, your CV or resume must be ATS friendly. Like I said, this ATS is a software. No, you apply for some job and they never go back to you. They just send you an email that, sorry, you did not pass this stage and we are unavailable to give you the details. Baba na ATS drop you. Nobody read your CV. Nobody has time to read the CV. Or maybe, I remember the first time I applied for a grant in 2019. They just sent it to us. Unfortunately, we are unable to provide you the details of why you didn't pass this stage. The following year, the same topic, the same proposal, bam, it entered. So at that particular point, the keyword was not included in the software. So please ensure that your CV is ATS friendly. And how can you make that? It's like the role you are applying for. There are some keywords. You can't be looking for a role engineer and some keywords are missing in your CV. So what are you now submitting for? So you must, another take home from this presentation is that you must quantify your impact. 50% increase in sales, 70% increase in examination performance as a teacher, maybe 35% medication adherence as a nurse or as a pharmacy or as a medical doctor. So you must always quantify your results over this. It's not like I administered drugs to 50 pregnant women and they came back to collect more. You must try and as much as possible to quantify your impact. So then you must have a flawless execution. This is done by proofreading your CV and resume. You must pay attention to details. You must share your CV with people that have gone ahead of you so that they will know how to correct you or how to mentor you. So, and this is very, very important. Like I said, I remember the first time I was asked to do a bow sketch, and I went to meet my supervisor, and he said, bow sketch. And he just laughed. You think say 4 pages of all your ones on me. Now half pages. Oh yeah, send your CV. By the time he sent it back to me, I was like, half page. So if you pass half, you don't get bow sketch. You don't need the right paragraph. So please ensure that you share your CV with people that have gone ahead of you to proofread it. Also, now, what are the bonus tips that can enhance your job search success? First, set daily application goals and meticulously track your progress. So I'm looking for a job to be a classroom teacher or to be a tutor, I must constantly look for jobs that are in line with this. And also, you must actively network on your social media handles, particularly your LinkedIn. You know, now this LinkedIn is for everybody now. Somebody that you say, today I went to, but before CVs for like professionals, but now everybody is going to CV and LinkedIn and doing. If they go to the toilet today, I was with my team and I went to sanitary facility. They will use English to paraphrase package it for you. I went to the toilet. I went to the sanitary toilet to inspect the quality of the facilities, and so you must always actively engage on LinkedIn and use some AIs to prep you for interviews. There's some people that you can just use using the star method so that for structured answers. So, if they to this particular question, how will you answer it? The AI tools that can help you to do this. Particularly even using video interview, AI video interviews, it will be as if you are live doing that. So you must continually pursue and upgrade yourself. And thank you very much for listening to this short presentation. And I hope that when you're applying for the next job or the next role, you do it better and you must have upgraded your skill for that particular job role. Thank you and good luck with your applications.
Please let's put our hands together for Dr. Achudume. Thank you so very much. We appreciate you. Now it's time for question and answer. If you're just getting into the hall, we appreciate you for coming through. Thank you so much for coming to the Special Business Summit. And this is a moment for us to grow, a moment for us to get better. And please, if you would like to go over the video again, it will be available on YouTube. At the moment you're streaming live, or you can go back to YouTube. It will give you the opportunity to refresh your memory on some of the things that you've learned today. Especially if you're jotting, you can definitely get home and rewatch it and then use that opportunity to jot out key points. Thank you so much.
Hebrew and area. So I want to confirm if Times New Roman is not accepted. It's not accepted.
Not.
So all my CV from day 1 to today is in Times New Roman. Thank you very much. So I know why I've been failing now. So that question will be answered. So the font size too, what is the approved size?
12.
12. Okay, so Times New Roman is 0. Thank you.
It depends on, like I said, some of them do have specification. But to reduce your number of pages, you can use 1.5.
Okay, space 1.5.
So let me
Hold on, let's wrap up with these questions.
Just answer one of the questions so that I can. That's to Abby. Sorry. Yeah, this how many CVs?
Yes, you are meant to have different CVs for different jobs, and like that's why I said then that, for example, if an NGO for that collection job, I believe every other thing that does not involve working with an NGO data collection for my CV and submit the ones that I even just 3 years ago that I did, but I want them to know that I have an experience with data collection or data analysis. And let's say it's a teaching job, I can put forward, because since I came in as a core member in FUNAP, I've been supervising projects from 2018 to date, so I can also push up that I've been supervising students and their different project talks. I can put that as a role. And I can write some of the courses that my supervisor has given us teach, because he doesn't teach. So he tells us, oh yeah, go and teach about 191, about 1. So I put those forward. So for each people, you must have a different CV for it. It's just like if you are going as a business person, you are going for a pitch deck. Definitely your CV will be with you, and you are telling on your CV what is there is data collection. You have not talked about what business you have done and what impact is that made. It is zero, even if you are qualified for that role, except if man, no man, you know somebody there, you'll be given. If not, you are automatically disqualified. And then for the 8 years, for 8 years, there's no particular keyword. And like I said, depends on the role. Each job comes with keywords that you as an applicant should know. And this should be included in areas of your CV. If you are working as an electrical engineer, or for example, and you don't know about some key terms, about lighting, about wiring and the lights, or me, myself, as a public health person, I don't know what informed consent is, what is that being samples is about. So some of these words will be set out, and then like maybe there's a particular way to apply for computer science. So if you're the US and they put the keywords and in Nigeria, you will lose it. No. Just like some keywords, like the central dogma that will be needed for you to scale to the next stage of application.
Thank you.
I think there's
Two more.
Two more questions.
Go ahead. Okay. So sorry. So sorry. Well, for me, this is a very good thing I wanted to learn. So the last week you said something about outdated certificates. Now, can you expand on what you mean by that? So let's have done a certification on since 2020. Let's say 2002. Is it outdated?
Thank you very much. If you've done something since 2002 and it is not relevant to what you're for, it is not. It is outdated first, not in terms of year now. In terms of that. Also, in terms of maybe you now have better qualification than that, you can remove it. Particularly, like I said in the end of the presentation, that if you have more than 10 years experience, professional experience, it's just like I said that you're a university graduate and you're spending primary school as your education in your CV. So they are all outdated certifications.
Thank you. So you mentioned something about using AI to review our CV. So if I use AI to review my CV, is there a way the employer will know that I use AI?
And you know there are tools, there are AIs and anti-AI. So when you use AI to develop it, you can also use anti-AI.
So how do I know the anti-AI to use?
And you have to know that first when AI tools that can detect that you wrote with AI. For example, you can Mali to just edit or reward or this keyboard that you can use to just re-edit the word that AI gave you in human form.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Question. Do you still want to ask your question? Okay.
I said 12. Either area or calibrate.
Any other question, please? And do you have a question for our first speaker? Do you have a question concerning pitch deck and also grants writing? Any other question? All right. Thank you so very much. Please let's put our hands together for them. Thank you. Now we are moving on to the next thing on our agenda, which is, just like I said earlier, we're going to be as snappy as possible. And also, while you're going through the training and all, ensure you have your notepad with you. And please don't stop jotting. It's very, very important because you can go back to that particular notes any moment. And in case you don't have a notepad here and you're not jotting down things, kindly remember to check out our page on YouTube, DaySpring Chapel. We'll have the live, the video right there, so you can go there and watch the video. We are moving on to the panel session. And this one, we are going to have individuals on here on stage. and we are going to ask some questions. And these individuals, they are masters of their trade. They are masters of what they do. And not just masters, they've made impacts. And that's the essence of bringing us here this very wonderful evening, to ensure that we learn from individuals who have made impact and they're still making impact in their various line of trade. And I'm sure most of us will be able to relate with what they've been through, what they have to offer, and it will help us to get better at what we do. I'll keep saying it. This particular program is for us to learn and to get better and to also improve our business, our personal life. Growth is very important. It is very, very important that you grow as an individual. If you don't grow, that means nothing you do, what you do won't grow. It's very important that you grow in order for what you are doing or you are engaging in grows as well. So let's welcome our panelists this great evening to the stage. Media, please help me with the introduction. Thank you. And as we do the introduction, please, as they come forward, let's put our hands together to celebrate them. Thank you. All right, so while we wait for the media to bring up their bio and just a short introduction about our wonderful guest or panelist for this evening, let me invite Mrs. Olubunmi Adekunle to the stage. Let's put our hands together. Mrs. Olubunmi Kehinde Adekunle. Let's put our hands together for her, please. Thank you so very much, ma'am. Also, this great evening, we're going to have join us live upstage. Toyin Abioye, sincere apologies. They always say women first, so let me introduce the women first. Let's put our hands together for Toyin Abioye. And the last but not the least of all our panelists this great evening is Ibukoluwa Ademoye, Mr. Ibukoluwa Ademoye. Let's put our hands together for him. Introduction. Are you ready? Let's go, please.
Is a product leader with years of experience in product development and innovation across the fintech, SaaS, and edtech industries. Her passion for advancing women in technology is evident through her work as a global tech mentor, speaker, and the executive director of Nezotech Africa, Under her leadership, Nezatech Africa has impacted over 10,000 women, fostering vibrant communities that promote inclusivity, leadership, and professional growth in the tech ecosystem. For her outstanding contributions, she has been recognized as a global ambassador for the Women Tech Network.
That's for Toyin Abioye. Let's put our hands together for her. Thank you so much.
With extensive experience spanning trade, category management, sales leadership, operational excellence, and customer service, Ibuku has a proven track record of driving significant results. He has consistently developed and executed strategies that not only boost sales growth and enhance market share, but also streamline operations and elevate customer satisfaction. He excels in applying methodologies like Lean and Six Sigma to increase productivity and is passionate about leveraging his diverse expertise to deliver exceptional results.
Let's put our hands together for Ibuku Ademoye. All right, let's have the last but not the least.
Adekunle Kehinde Oluwabumi is a motivational speaker and an entrepreneur. She is the founder of Bravo Hair and Beauty Studio, Bravo Hairline, and producer of B Herber's hair growth products.
Let's put our hands together for Adekunle Kehinde Oluwabumi. Thank you all so very much. So we are going to commence this panel session now. It's just going to be quite brief and straight to the point. And please try your best to make your response as precise as possible. Just like I said earlier, the 3 S. Simple, short, and straight to the point. Thank you so much. And also, we'll give you the opportunity as well to ask your questions. So if you have any question, feel free to jot it down. When the time is right, we'll get it. And then we'll ask our panelists this great evening. But let's start from here. Let's start with Toyin Abioye. You've heard what she's into. And I'm sure a number of us who are here and interested in product management, I'm sure we are willing and we are also ready to learn from her. The first question is, what are the biggest challenges professionals face when transitioning into new careers, and how resilience help them to adapt to uncertainty and change, having in mind that you did not start as a product manager?
Hello. Okay. Can you hear me? Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So, quick answer. What are the challenges they face in transitioning? So, I started out in teaching. I'm a graduate of engineering, but I started out in teaching, then I moved to banking, then I moved to tech. So in transitioning, one of the things that you face that feels like is a challenge for you when you want to transition are the skill gaps. Skill gaps, very important, because you're moving from one career to the other. What are the things that are different? I'm moving from this to this. What are the things that are different? What are the things that I need to know? So I moved from banking, which is very straight-laced, very formal, to tech, and I started from a startup, which is different in a bit. So you need to understand the skills that are different. What are the skills that are different? For example, I needed to learn product management. Somebody may need to learn data analysis. Somebody may need to learn front-end, whatever. So skill gaps, you need to be very just cognizant of that. Secondly, look for transferable skills. What are the things that I do now that I will be able to do in the career I'm transitioning to? So let's say now you are teaching or you are banking and then you want to move to tech. What are the things that I do now that can relate to what I'm going to be doing? So one of the things for me was communication. I was in customer service and we were attending to, customers, telling them what the problem is or what do you do and all of that. And I was moving into product management, which is overseeing a product, working with stakeholders to build a product. So I needed to be able to communicate well. So I knew that one of my transferable skills was going to be communication. So your soft skills, you need to know the skill gaps that you have. You need to know the transferable skills that you can bring. Then thirdly, you need to be aware of imposter syndrome. Of course, you say, oh, I'm a graduate of engineering, and I started with teaching. What do I know that I want to go and do in banking? You know a lot. You know a lot and you've learned a lot. So you need to be very careful of imposter syndrome. Just know that the things that I know will work for me, and then the things that I don't know, I will learn it. So 3 things that I've mentioned, the skill gaps, the transferable skills, and then beware of imposter syndrome.
Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for her. Now, let me get to the hair experts, and that is Adekunle Kehinde Oluwabunmi. And the question is quite easy and straightforward. You are an individual who has done this particular beauty business for years, and you've moved from a very favorable economy into the period when the economy isn't so favorable. You've experienced it all. So, in such a situation, what do you think entrepreneurs can do in order for them not to waste their time while trying to start out a business?
If you are just starting a business under this economy, what I will say is that you start with little. Don't go and put everything that you have in a basket. Even if you have the entire money. For example, you have a business in mind and you see that somebody is prospering in that business, and you have, like, let me give an example, like 10 million naira, or you see somebody giving you that 10 million naira as a loan. Don't put everything inside that business. Start little so that you can learn. There is no business that does not have its challenge. There is no business. Even people that are selling pepper. Somebody said something one day. He said, if somebody is doing a particular business and anytime you pass there, you see the person coming back, that means the person is making something, no matter how little it is. But as the person is making something little, there's a challenge that she's trying to overcome too. So in this unstable economy, before you go into any business, as a startup, new startup, don't start too big so that in case there is a crash, you don't crash completely. Manage, learn your business over time. There is no business, even pure water business. There was a time that pure water business was blooming, everybody trying to do it. But go and count the number of them that exist. The same thing ear business, the same thing makeup business. You see people, they will rush into makeup because they feel that it's easy. But as easy as you think it is, that is how you go back and you get discouraged. So start up little, learn the tactics of your business and grow continuously. Even for people that are doing business, when you have additional income, don't go and pour everything at once. Take one step after the other.
Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for her. And adding to that, to what she said, starting little, I remember a few days ago, I was having a conversation with someone, and the person reached out to me, and the person said, I want to do a media campaign for my business. So I asked the person, this business has been how many years? And the person said, oh, it's just been 7 months. And I feel there's a need for me to get on the radio and let people know. And I said, okay, you are someone who I know. If you feel that, okay, in 7 months, you're not getting the traction that you want, and the best thing for you is to go on the radio or on TV and do advertisement. And I told him, I said, no, that's not how you do it. Start small. How much can you put into social media adverts so that people within that area can learn? How much can you put into making stickers? You can go to a very big place where there is, we have parks. Put your stickers on those cars. How much can you spend on maybe flyers? Just go to a very, maybe like Pansheke or Yanomochari and give it to people. Now you're getting the attention you deserve. But if you put it on the radio 1 minute, in the next 1 minute it's done. And the next thing people will be saying, what's that phone number on that advert again? It's gone. And in 1 minute it's all done. But radio stations are collecting a lot of money for commercials. 1 minute is a lot of money. So it's very important that you start little, like she said, and please learn how to scalability. I think we use that as well. Thank you so very much. Now let's get on to Ibukun Ademoye. Ibukun, the question is, how can young entrepreneurs build strong financial literacy skills to manage cash flow, investment, and business risk more effectively?
So, can you hear me? So how can they learn financial skills? I think the fastest way is by studying books. I know we live in a generation where we don't want to read things. You study books and you see things in books. And beyond that, if you are too lazy to study books, then you need to walk up to people who are experienced in this thing. I think for me, one of the fastest way I've learned things is by learning from others, right? So you see somebody who is successful over the years, the person has a track record of financially being buoyant or has turned over businesses from business to business. You walk up to them. And I think one problem with we young people is that maybe it's pride, we find it difficult to ask questions. So in my line of work, if you don't ask questions, you are definitely going to fail. So ask questions, and there are no foolish questions. You might get a foolish answer, but you would have learned something. So ask questions. And now we have a lot of AI tools. And I see us using AI tools for things that are not very profitable. We go on social media. On this same Instagram, I've learned a lot of things. So Instagram, there are some pages where you can learn. If you are too lazy to read, there are pages you can learn 2-minute snippets. You will learn a financial rule that can transform your life. So for example, I was doing like a business analysis for someone, and I had seen a short snippet online about how to track your expense and something. I didn't read a book about it. Well, I read books, but I had seen it, and the person brought up the question, and the way I spoke about it, the person assumed that, you must have read like 5 books. No, I saw it online. I thought about it, and I developed it more. So you read books, you ask questions, very important. You leverage AI tools. You can go on DeepSeek, or what's it called? ChatGPT, Gemini. You can ask them, how can I leverage my business? And you put in, there are some keywords you use, and it's going to tell you how. Am I correct? So why are you not asking it stupid questions? Because, I don't know. Then also, when you go online, what pages do you follow? Those are the quickest way that you can actually maximize and learn more. Because see, finances responds to principles. Right? Even when you pray, God will give you a principle to apply to increase your finances. So what you need to learn are the principles for increase. And most importantly, do not be afraid of failure. Very important. When you fail, it only tells you that either you are learning something new or you need to try it in a different way. So you will fail sometimes, but you need to just keep going. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Let's put our hands together for him. Let me get back to Toyi Abioye. Let's talk about transferable skills now. How can individuals identify and leverage their transferable skills to successfully pivot? Because we've been talking about the fact that pivoting is very important. So how can they identify their skills and then successfully pivot to different roles?
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to use examples so that we can just hit the nail on the head fast. So let's say teaching to tech. So let's take that as the example. I'm teaching now, and I want to transition into tech, which is very, very possible. You can transition from teaching to anything you really want to do. So first, conduct a skills audit. Do it. So you're going to take your career. This is what I say. I'm a product manager, and I say most times that you should take your career as a product. Manage it like a product. This product, I want to make it grow. So how do you manage that product? Now you want to move from teaching to tech. the first thing to transition is to conduct a skills audit. What is a skills audit? You just want to check, what do I know? What can I do well? So what are your skills now? In teaching, one of your skills is what? Anybody? One of the skills you use in teaching. Communication is a skill you use in teaching, and you want to go into tech. And you know that you're a very effective communicator. You want to go into tech. So you look at what is in tech that I can use communication for. There's data analysis, there's front-end engineering, there's back-end engineering. You know that you can't use communication for back-end engineering. There's nobody you are communicating to mostly. You are mostly coding for back-end or for front-end. For data analysis, not really. But for product management, you can use communication. Do you see how this works? So check what you know. Check what you have done. Check what you can do. Look at the skills that you have. Then go and check the skills needed for what you want to transition to. When you check it, you will know which one to transition to. So I want to move now from teaching. I'm going to check those tech skills, those tech courses or something, and then check which one fits into what I know. So that's the first thing. After that, you map the skills. I've touched on that a little. Map the skills from teaching to tech. Which skills can I move from here to there? Match those skills. Thirdly, show your results, not just your roles. Like Dr. was speaking about CVs. So now when you are speaking about this, if you have taught before and you really don't have a lot of things to talk about in your CV because it's mostly teaching and you want to go into tech, you need to show results of those soft skills. So communication, what has communication done for you? You need to show how it's worked for you and how it can translate into the product management role you want to take now. I hope this makes sense and it helps you. So you need to map it together. How can this help here? Then you need to go and look at the things you have done and then list it in your CV. Those are really just a simple way to... Then lastly, let me talk about this. Lastly, you need to now go to the skills you don't have. Now I know that I have communication. From teaching, I want to go to product management. I have communication, but I don't have product management knowledge. What do? I go and learn. So take courses, take certifications. And those courses and certifications are the things you put in your CV that you show that you are very serious, that you are not just saying you want to transition and you don't have anything. Those certificates and courses will show. Those are the things that showed for me. I did courses, I did certifications, I listed them, I checked my transferable skills, I listed them, and I built a CV. Just use the plan that Mr. Dotun showed us. And that's just a simple way to try it. It will work.
Thank you so very much. Now let me get to Oluwabumi. She said I should call her Bravo. That's the name of our product. Okay. Let me get to Bravo. I'm going to ask you two questions in one. And it's going to be based on pivoting as well. Because I know you started with nails and hair, but now you have beauty products. So how easy was it for you to pivot from just making hair for people, like having a salon where you just make hair for people and do their nails, into a space where you have a spa, you make beauty, you produce beauty products and all? And also, I'll add this question to it because I want it to be 2 in 1. With limited resources, what are some cost-effective approaches to building a minimum visible product? This question is, what practical strategies or alternative funding models can startups explore to secure capital in times of economic instability?
Thank you. The first one is still on that principle of starting little. You might have a very big vision. Every industry that we want to go into, any industry, they have their peak. Like, it can be as big as anything, but there is always a room for little startup because you know your limits and you know your energy. There are some ladies that come, or some of my apprentices, that will come in and their parents will say, I want my daughter to learn everything. And I smile. It's easy for me to say, bring the money. I'll collect almost close to 1 million naira. But I used to tell them that over time, I give the person a month or two, they will begin to drop. That interest begin to drop because what they are seeing is the success. They've not looked at the challenges. So I used to tell parents that they should allow that child to grow. Let us start with our passion. Start with what you like. Start from little. then you start expanding. But what matters is your focus, where you are going. Like this, I am going into beauty industry. We've not even exhausted the beauty industry entirely. I'm not even up to 1/4 yet. There is still a lot. There is still more grounds to gain. And we are still trying to move. So we'll keep moving. So by the time you want to pivot, you want to do anything, take one step after the other, like I said, because that has been my own little secret. Because if you say you want to do everything at once, at a time you can get bored, you can get tired, and you will not be interested. But number one, have a vision. How big you want it to be. Like, have a very big vision. Have something that is bigger than you. Have somebody that you are looking at and say, this is where I want to go to, and this is where I'm going to end, or I'm going to go beyond this person. And take one step after the other, knowing yourself. If you can do 3 together, all well and good. If you can do 4, all well and good. And if you cannot do everything, do one after the other. And the second one is, how do you get funds? I used to tell people, it's easy for us to get loan, but you have to be careful. Don't go and collect PAMPay. Don't go and collect OPay. Don't go and collect Gbomule Lanta. You will have hypertension as a little person, as a little child. There's a lady in my church that I was trying to talk to, and she didn't come to church for a very long time, and she came to meet me, and she said, "Ma, I have a problem." What's the problem? She has one small shop where she sells gari and sells other things like biscuit and so on. And she said that area that she's selling, there's another Igbo, you know all these people, Igbo people, they sell in bags. And she collected grooming, that is the Gbomule Lanta. She collected like 200,000 from them. And she will go to Omida to go and buy gari and bring it to that place that is not even opened, not a student area. So she's now forced to sell gari at the same amount that the Igbo is selling, because she wants to impress people that she's into business. And in that same business she's eating, a child will cry, she will eat out of that biscuit. So she was having loans. And I told her, you are your problem. You are saying, you are even from carrying the gari alone you are already making a loss, because you are doing a business for the grooming. You don't have an interest that can pay their own interest. So you're already in debt. Even if you are selling well, you're already in debt. Number 2, you don't even have buyers. You are selling at a loss. Number 3, you are even killing the business, because when you are hungry, you will take one Congo and go and eat. So at the end of the day, she's not able to pay. And I told her, go and start again. Start little. Don't compete with somebody that is bigger than you. Start from your own lane. If it is one Dirika that you can sell to people that can buy. Maybe what they can afford is one agolo. They will not go to Igbo. Igbo might not sell agolo to them and sell it little by little. So what I'm trying to say is that don't go and put your head into loans, unnecessary loans. I am not saying we should not collect loan, but don't take the one that is beyond your capacity. Collect the one that you can pay, even if the business is not moving. Maybe you have another source of income. For someone like me, I still have other work. When I was starting, I had other job. So by the time there is financial challenge, I have somewhere to fall back onto. So that is it. So number 2, you can do contribution. But above all, some people will say, our family members, you can be disappointed that as soon as you start your business, people that you think will give you money, they will stop giving you money because they think you have arrived. Number 2, envy. Business. So start with what you have. If you have 1,000 naira, sincerely, you can start your business. I did that thing in my church. Tell me that business that you have. I will tell you how you can start as little from that business. As long as it is buying and selling or skill, you can start with even 0 kobo. So another way that you can raise money is that work for another person. That's your line of expertise or that dream that you want. For example, you want to be a beautician. You have learned. You don't have to start your own immediately. I used to tell my staff, 2 things you gain when you are working for somebody, especially when it has to come to skill. Number 1, you are gaining money. Number 2, you are gaining expertise. You are learning more. You cannot be in the level that you started with me. You are learning more because skill is the more you do, the more you learn. But you have this business in your mind, you don't have money, and you have learned the skill. Staying at home will kill the vision. It will take away the skill. So these are the ways that we can raise money. The little that you have, number one. Number two, work for somebody. By working for somebody, you will have money. Another way, do little contribution. Don't overdo it. If you have to collect a loan, please take the one that you can pay back.
Thank you so very much. Let's put our heads together for her. I'm sure we are learning one or two things. Please don't forget that we are streaming live on YouTube. So you can go ahead to DaySpring Chapel handle on YouTube and just save it. Please kindly subscribe to that channel so that you can use that opportunity to get back to the channel and rewatch what we are discussing today. You can rewatch the business summit. Thank you so much. Now let me get to Ibukunluwa Demoye. My question is, what practical steps can entrepreneurs take to ensure financial security? Because we've talked about getting loan, we've talked about contribution, but what are some other practical steps we can take to ensure financial stability in the long term if you are not looking at the short term at the moment?
Okay, I think the easy answer is to have a business plan. But it's very easy to say, what does a business plan entail? You need to understand the business you are going into. And when I say understand, you need to understand each aspect fits like a Lego. So is it a seasonal business? There are some businesses that are seasonal. So for example, if you're into corn business, if you roast corn is gradually going out of season, am I correct? And plantain is coming in season. So if you are in the roasting business, you know that it's time you start disinvesting from corn and start investing in what? Plantain. You need to understand the seasonalities and you need to understand your business dynamics. Who are your customers? Who are you selling to? If you are not able to define that, if you want to sell to everybody, then you sell to nobody. So are you selling to students? Are you selling to high-income earners? So, for example, let me give a practical example. When Pomasidor came to Nigeria, so we had a big brand. Peak Milk was the brand milk, the brand we all knew then. So what was Pomasidor's strategy? They picked a niche. They said they wanted to provide cheap milk that everyday Nigerians can afford. So they came with cowbell. What was the cowbell? Cowbell. So it was a milk everybody could afford. In a period of 1 year, they were like 60% of the market. Because they understood the niche they were selling to. You can't service everybody when you are starting a business. Even the Bible says, it said, Gentiles shall come to your light and kings to the... So when you start out, you do not expect the kings to come. But those Gentiles, the profit that will bring the kings is in their hand. So you understand the people you are selling to. I said, number one, understand what? Seasonalities. Understand the people, who is your target market. Understand your business dynamics. Like, what do I mean by business dynamics? There are times, and this is separate from seasonality. There are times that business goes up. There are times that business goes down. And you need to understand why. So when you notice that at this particular period, money comes in more than at this period, permit me to use this word, you will be unwise not to know why. So we have a saying in my office. You need to understand why. When you are selling, you need to know why. And when you are not selling, you need to know why. So that when you start selling, you can start preparing for the time you are not going to sell. So there is a system in place. So maybe the time you know that this period, this was what happened in May that I did not sell. Maybe they did not pay government workers. So you notice that anytime they don't pay government workers on time, your sales drop. So you need to understand that, okay, so how do I plan for this period? So you are sensing that, okay, this period they might pay government workers later. So what do? You stock up. Just like you are preparing for winter. You don't spend everything you earn. So that by the time they are not paying government workers and maybe 90% of your target audiences, they are government workers, you can start selling to them on credit. So when you are selling to them on credit, to know that you have something to fall back on. So by the time they pay back in bulk. You get, so there are still many more principles. And I would also love to talk about the loan aspects. You need to understand. I think the reason why many businesses struggle in Nigeria is because we don't take time to study. The Bible said, see a man that is diligent at his work. We don't study. So, for example, you want to take a loan. Do you understand what loan structure is? How many percent are you paying? So they will tell you you are taking a loan at 12% for a year. Do you know that, okay, when you say 12% for a year, do you know that 12% you divide it by 12 months? That means in a month you are paying 1%. So your business, is it bringing you a profit that is enough to cover for that 1% that you are paying in a month? Do you get the analysis? So it takes study. You need to study. And you can start without studying, but you need to study to understand the dynamics and how to. There are many more points, but let me stop there for now.
Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for him. He has talked about studying. He also mentioned earlier that if you cannot read, feel free to move closer to individuals who have read something and can teach you. That's where mentorship comes in. And it's not necessary, I'm just adding this one to it. It's not necessary you are very close to your mentor. You can be studying your mentor from afar. You can do that too. Then you can do close mentorship. But thank you. Let's put our hands together. Thank you so much. We're almost there. And don't forget that you can jot down your question, and when the time is right, we'll definitely get them. And our panelists will attend to your questions. Let me get to Toyi. Earlier, she talked about setback. An individual went ahead to collect a loan, which she couldn't pay back. She ended up being in debt, and she couldn't pay back. And because of that, the business went down. Now, that is a setback. When it comes
career is your own product. You want it to grow. Sit down with it. What are the things that went wrong? What did I do wrong? What are the things that caused the setbacks so I can learn from it and move forward? In the example she gave, she told the person what the cause of that setback was. What is the cause of your setback? Is it that you did not learn better, or you did not maybe build yourself? So in career, you cannot stop learning. You have to take courses. You have to get certifications. In fact, it gets to a point where if you are moving up, we need to see more certifications. So if you are moving up in your career, the last certification on your CV cannot be your university certification. What are the other things you've done after that? If you've not done your master's, there should be other certifications you've done. So I've said that you need to learn your lessons and you need to forward. Secondly, I want to talk about having a support system. You need a strong support system. And in this, I'm going to mention 3 things. The first is, let me just mention the 3. You need a coach, a mentor, and a sponsor. And it is not just cliche, it's not just words. You really need it. And it's not something that is really hard. So let me explain. Firstly, you need a coach. What do you mean by a coach? Somebody who's going to teach you the rudiments of what you're doing, your course or your career, those things you're doing. A coach will help you. So let's say I'm doing product management. A coach is somebody that teaches me what product management is, then teaches me how to make you work, how to grow in it. And you can get coaches in different ways. You can apply for courses. You have coaches in different places. See, that's why we have social media. There are coaches on Instagram. I know that there are some that are not worth it, but there are some that are legit and are correct. If you can see me after, if you have something in mind and you want me to point you to a coach, I can. So get a coach. Number 2, get a mentor. A mentor is not a coach. A mentor may not be directly accessible. They may be accessible, they may not. And there are different ways to get a mentor. Firstly, if you see someone who is doing something you have done or you want to do, and you want to get better at it, that is a mentor for you. The person may be afar, but you can follow the person's teachings, buy the person's books, learn from it. There are people that are mentors to me that I don't know in product management, because some of them are not here in Nigeria. How are they mentors to me? Because I've learned from their books. That's a side. The other side is you can get mentors that are accessible to you. How do you get those mentors? You don't go to them or be typing on Instagram, "Can I be your mentee, ma?" It doesn't work. That's not what you do. What you do is to go out, attend events. You cannot be in career and a career person at this time. You don't have a functional LinkedIn profile. You are in career now. You don't have a functional LinkedIn profile. That is a problem. You must be able to use your LinkedIn to meet different people. Go to conferences. Go to events. You are in tech. You're not going to tech events. How do you want to meet people? How do you want to network? There are jobs that you get only from networking, not because you submitted your CV. You get those jobs because you networked. So you have to, LinkedIn, please don't forget that. Your LinkedIn is very important. So I'm talking about your networking and getting a mentor, yes. So when you go to those networking events, meet those people, what value can you give them? Don't start asking them, can I be your mentee? What value? Come up with the value that you can give them. You have studied this person. Meet the person at the event. Talk about the value you want to give the person. That's how you get a mentor. The next one is a sponsor. And this is what a sponsor means in a career, in career settings. A sponsor is somebody who knows you and can talk about you somewhere. That is it. So a sponsor can be, and let's start from where you're working now. You're working in an office. You should have a sponsor. And you don't need to go and meet somebody that be my sponsor. No, this is how you do it. You make sure that you give results beyond what you are being paid to do. If you are serious as a career professional, you want to grow, let your results be more than what you are being paid to do. You cannot do career like, I've done what I am supposed to do, I'm going home. Of course, you go when you're, but do your career in a way that you have results more than what you are paid to do. This is the last point, sorry. But I need to make this point. When you deliver results, there are people who will see you. For me, some of those people are maybe my line manager, sometimes my CEO, because they've seen what you can do. They've seen what they can do. They are your sponsors. They are the ones that can speak for you in meetings that you are not in. So please remember that. 3, your coach, your sponsor, and your mentor. And they are not cliche words. They are things that you actually need. So please work on those 3 things.
Thank you. Let's put our hands together for her. Okay, so it's going to be my final question to you before I come to Ibukun. And the question really is that she did talk about there's something called network. In beauty industry as well, do we have something like that? How important is that to an individual who is starting off, a startup when it comes to beauty products?
Yes, just like she said, there is always networking. So all you need to do is to humble yourself to know people. When you know someone, you can always build a relationship. So if you want to network, build a relationship first. And before you can build a relationship, build your integrity. When you build your integrity, then you can network. Number 2, be good at what you do. If I network with someone and I did not deliver, despite the fact that I have a connection, they will not call me the next time. And whatever you are doing that you are not good at today, don't ever write yourself down. For example, you went to do a makeup for someone, and by the time you finished, you were so disappointed. You can't be disappointed at that moment, but don't ever take your box and lock it up. Take it again and learn. Learn, keep learning. There is always a chance for you to improve. Improve your skill. By the time you know what you are doing and you are good at what you are doing, some network will even look for you automatically because they know that you can deliver. So build your integrity, build character, because I've seen people doing business. What they are learning is the skill, but they are failing in character. No matter what you have, attitude is everything. If you have a good attitude, you can build your skill. If you have the best of the skill and you lack attitude, that skill will disappear over time because nobody will reckon with you. So build integrity, build relationship, and continue to learn your skill. Be perfect, stay relevant in your world. Even if nobody is seeing you, don't struggle. There's a word I used to tell people, don't struggle for the altar. Don't struggle to get noticed. Let your work announce you. If people don't know you today, you stay consistent. You keep doing it. One day, your skill, your perfection will bring you out to limelight.
Thank you. Let's put our hands together for her. Okay, so my final question to you, Ibukun, is that when it comes to investment, because Toyin mentioned something, she talked about sponsors, and sponsors are individuals who invest in something. And you must have integrity before a sponsor will come to you and say, okay, I want to invest in what you do. Now, as an entrepreneur, who maybe by chance you're not one of those who have like maybe a beauty line like she does, and you want to invest in something, how can we know a viable investment to put our money in? Because I know someone like Toyin might not be able to open a shop somewhere, but she might want to be a sponsor for an entrepreneur. So how can we know that this investment is viable for us to put our money in?
Okay, thank you. Also, studying. You need to understand. So, take for example, someone wants to start a business, say September. It's September. What's so special about September? Who knows? Students are going back to school. So you want to start. I want to think of something that is opposite to student. You know, in September, most parents would rather pay for school fees, would pay for bags, will buy school uniform, will buy books. So now you want to sell to people who have kids in schools. You now want to go and sell to them luxury clothing in September. Is that a viable business? Exactly. So you need to study, you need to know. See, one thing I've learned, when you look at numbers and when you sit down and you look at patterns, you can always draw out patterns from things. I learned it from my boss. Everything has a pattern. When you sit down with scriptures, you see a pattern in scripture. So when you want to start a business, study patterns. And patterns are usually, what's the word? In design, they call something, a unit of design is called, it starts from M. A motif. Motif is a unit of design, right? And what makes something beautiful is that motif is repeated series of time. Even in nature, you will see that nature you will see something like pi is constantly repeated. So there are patterns. So to understand the viability of a business, you need to look at the patterns. So say for example, at some point in Ogun State was known as a civil servant state. So it made no sense to come and start a luxury brand in Ogun State. That was a pattern, but now the pattern is shifting. But if you wanted to start a luxury brand in Lagos, it makes sense. So you need to understand the patterns, you need to understand the location. Who are the people in that locale? Like she gave an example of somebody that wants to sell Gary in a location where it is not so viable. You need to understand your competition. So say for example, when she started, I already knew that it was a business that was bound to fail. Why? The Igbo guy will probably go and get his Gary at a cheaper rate. He's buying in bulk. Let me explain. The Igbo guy is buying from somebody that is supplying the person the lady is going to buy from. It's already a failed business. You cannot sell at the same price. So you need to understand the business structure. I'm trying to be practical as much as possible. So you need to study. You need to understand patterns. You need to understand the location. You need to study down to the smallest details. So that when they ask you any question that what color will your customer be wearing on a Tuesday, you can tell them that it's a blue shirt. And even if the customer does not wear a blue shirt, you see that the customer is wearing a purple shirt because the mixture of blue and red is what? Purple. It shows that you've studied. So one of the things I do is that we launch brands also. So those are part of the feasibility studies you do. You need to look. You need to understand, okay, what do the people want? So what are we clamoring for in Nigeria now? What do people need in Nigeria now? Is it answering a question? Is it answering a need? Because people would always spend their money in the direction of their need and their wants. And also, even after that, you can still fail. But what do I tell you? When you fail, it shows that probably you missed something and you need to go back to the drawing table. You don't stop trying. You keep trying till you get it right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for our panelists. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. A big thank you to Adekunle Eniola Abume for coming. A big thank you also to Toyi Abioye and also Ibukunluwa Ademoye. Please, let's put our hands together for them. I'm sure you've learned one or two things. And now we are moving on to another one. Don't worry. Please jot your question down somewhere. We are going to attend to your questions shortly. But now let's get on to this particular one. And it is the keynote address. It's time for us to have our guest speaker come up so that we can have that. And also we put the questions and answers, together right after the keynote address. Let's put our hands together as we'll welcome right to this particular stage the person of Mr. Hamzat Oluwase. Media, can we have the introduction, please? Please, let's put our hands together for him. Can we rise and honor him? Please, let's put our hands together. Media, the introduction. Thank you so very much.
And strategy consultants dedicated to creating products, programs, partnerships that open opportunities for young Africans in the digital economy. He is a program director at Secondary City Tech, a dynamic crowdsourcing and media platform that fosters and showcases innovation within second-tier cities and urban areas. He recently led growth and outreach at Kibo School, a global online university offering affordable STEM degrees to Africans. Over the past 10 years, he has been passionately involved in nurturing the tech and startup ecosystem across the continent. His work includes impactful projects with international development agencies, global ecosystem leaders, tech communities, and think tanks such as the German Development Corporation, GIZ, AI Commons, and Data Science Nigeria.
Let's put our hands together for Mr. Hamzat Oluwase.
Like to appreciate the convenience of this event. Oh, thank you very much. I was looking for my slide. That's what I was looking for. Okay, great. So I'm super excited to be here. Super excited to be talking about this topic I'm talking about today. And if you know me from anywhere, you would know that this is my forte, and I'm really, really passionate about it. And so before we even go on, one thing that I would like to do is to crave your indulgence and even your permission to allow me speak from my heart. Is that okay? And the reason why I'm doing that is that sometimes I get very, very passionate, and sometimes, like people would say, someone said that I'm like a forceful motivator. But the goal is, like some of my teachers will say, sometimes you just need to, especially when you're trying to tackle topics like this, especially around things that have gone to become part of our culture, part of the manage it like that culture. You need to come very, very aggressive. Is that okay? Wow, it's good to see you. So that's why sometimes I'm really, really turned on. I'm trying to talk about stuff like this. And I'll be sharing again some practical examples from my experience. And again, I'll try to be mindful of time. So I'll need my guys to give me notice when I'm like 15 minutes to the time so that I can speed up. So I'll be talking about something quite important to me. And I also think it's quite important to all of us, right? And I call it the new African dream. So the conveners wanted me to talk around innovation, and then income, and then impact. So those three key things: innovation, economics, that is to say income, and then also impact. So I came up with that topic called the New African Dream: scale up, innovate, and make a difference. And by the way of introduction, my name is Oluwaseun Hamzat, and I kind of do a lot of things. So it's really difficult, and well, not really difficult to be sincere. It's in different circles. I kind of take on different roles, right? So, for example, if you'd met me at a data conference, I would have introduced myself to you not as a technology and strategy consultant, but perhaps a data scientist or a data analyst. That's how I would have introduced myself, right? If you had met me at an ecosystem development that we're just coming from, I'd have, or at a tech event we're just coming from, I'd have introduced myself to you as a technology, ecosystem developer, right? And if you met me at an NGO kind of setting, I would have introduced myself differently. But what I found out that kind of summarized what I do in a way is that I build So this is so far so good. Thank God. And trust me, there's still way more to achieve, right? But this is so far so good career trajectory. So background in computer science, then did my master's in computer science, specialized in AI in FUNAP last year. And then from there got my first serious job as a programs and hub manager for Lead Resources. And then I got a big break to work with the German Development Corporation. And I got, another big break again to work at the first. And right now, they are now the biggest artificial intelligence learning and solution development network on the continent. And then from there, got to work with AI Commons, which are the first, one of the biggest artificial intelligence non-profit in the world. And then got a really, really life-transforming opportunity to work with the former heads of educational product at Google. She was starting a new startup called Kibo School. And, I was fortunate to be able to join her to lead growth and outreach at that school. And then later got an opportunity as well to work with a leading technology bootcamp in Canada. Now they're in the US. And right now I lead the operations of the largest tech talent accelerator on the continent. And why am I training this? It's very, very important because, again, it will prove a point I'm about to make in the next couple of slides. But more importantly as well, it also somewhat kind of, in a way, establish the experience vantage point that I'm coming from. And right now, apart from what I do, I lead, like they mentioned, Secondary City Tech. It's a project that we're currently running, a really what I call passion project for me. And then also I have a consulting firm that I also run. And all that doing that at the same time also with the work of ministry and also gigs like this or events like this. And I'm saying that to make particular point. Please just follow me. We'll get there. As long as I have time, I'll make some of those points. Next slide. And I like this. This is a good place to start because when we talk about Africa, if you mention Africa now to the white man, and I've been fortunate to work with a couple of them. One of the very, very first picture they see is this picture of poverty-stricken young children, right? And that's what they think of Africa. But next beside it is just a picture. This is not New York. This is not Pittsburgh. This is Lagos, Nigeria, right? And this is what Africa actually looks like, right? But unfortunately, when you talk to white people, this kind of, they look at you with a sense of pity. Some of them even wonder, did you see hyena in front of your footstep when you open the door? Do you understand? Some of them, that's what they think that we are. And that calls, for us, like, apart from the fact that we, again, it's this, culture that, in Nigeria, it's almost like I better pass my neighbor. That's what everybody's basically pursuing. And today I'm trying to just challenge us to actually try and aim higher. Now, this is the next slide. This is the traditional trajectory of most Nigerians. And this is what even our parents want us to be, because that's what they've known, right? They want you to go to school. After you finish school, get a good job. After you get a good job, get married. And after you get married, if you manage to have a solid car, maybe a Lexus, or a GLE, or do something like that, and then you have 2 or 3 kids, and then you have a wife, and you have a house that is non-decent. You have made it in life. You are the rich uncle, Abi? Yeah. And unfortunately, that's our vision of success. But again, I always make this analogy. If you bring, and it's a sad one, but again, one of the things that God needs to help us, especially as Christians, is to break that shackle of our mind, to allow us to know that there is no limit. According to the scripture, it's as far as you can see. Are you following what I'm saying? It's as far as you can see. So one of the things that God will begin to change, especially as He wants to change your level, is to change your sight. It allows you to begin to see things differently, right? People will be wondering, like, why are you like this? Like, God is working on you, and it's a patient work. You have to be patient with Him, right? And so, I'll just give this analogy. If you get as my time, I would have brought somebody out to volunteer. But if you brought someone that grew up all this, right? If you brought someone like me, or not someone like me, I've completely changed. But if you brought someone like me out, maybe 8 or 9 years ago, and then you get Donald Trump's son, and we put us by the side, and then you tell us that now, this is me, God, standing before you, and I'm giving you an open check. Ask me whatever you can ask me, and I will make it possible for you. The guy that grew up in Abeokuta all his life, what would he ask? He will ask for this exact same thing. I want a good, like maybe 2 good cars, 3 good houses, 1 in Banana Island, and then he also have a really good business that is making, at least $2 million, a year. That's all right. And what do you think Donald Trump's son would be asking for? Because where your own mind kind of pictures, that was his own beginning point. So what he will be asking is not all that. He will be asking, Lord, can we have can I chair, a committee in the United Nations and do this? That's what he's thinking of. He's thinking nations. He's thinking, can we build a product? Can we cross the 3 million market cap in this? That's what he's thinking. Or 3 billion or 3 trillion, 3 trillion market. And that's what he's thinking. But we are thinking, how many cars? 2 cars. Can you see? So when God wants to begin to work on you, one of the first things that will start changing is to start letting you know within your heart, you will truly be. You might not see any evidence of it. I remember, I tell this story every time. I remember about 7 years ago, with just less than 5,000 in my pocket, they gave me a mic like this and asked me to come and preach in my church. And I was telling them, we will be successful. We will all know ourselves. And the good thing about this is that we will do what? We will all be successful. And the good thing is that we will do what? We all know ourselves. When I finished that thing, as I was okay, hello, no, Luwani, Tofin Pariwo. Just as I'm saying, you will all be successful. Like there is no sign that they can ever be. Are you following what I'm saying? But something was so resounding in my heart. Like I don't know the way yet. I don't even know my career path fully, but I know. And that's one thing that God will begin to do in your heart. Do you understand? And again, if it's already happening to you, just embrace it. Especially when people think that you are mad about it. Because for me, like I was crazy about it. And just truly believe it in my heart that won't happen. So again, what I'm trying to say is that beyond, and I want you to don't be chained by this. If you achieve this, glory be to God. But again, believe that there is more to your life than this. I follow what I'm saying. There is more to your life. And I'm not just, this is not much motivation. I'm telling you the truth from God's word, that there is more to our life. And again, in Africa, we have a lot of work to do. Because if only you rises up in your family, there are many other people that would still, be depending on. So you need not only think about your own personal growth, you need to think about the collective growth. Are you following what I'm saying? A collective growth. How do we scale up abundance and allow it to reach multiple people? That's what I'm challenging. That should be the African dream. Not just about, I better pass my neighbor. It's that how can I and my neighbor also rise and really, really become something that the world will be proud of? Are you following what I'm saying? And that's the African dream that I'm really pitching today. And why am I speaking like this? It's because the world is changing. And if there was ever a time this African dream can be possible, is right now. There are now new opportunities are coming up every single day just because the world is gravitating to a new state. And everybody now would always want to start from ground zero. My slide is missing a couple of slides. Now I'm realizing it, but it's fine. The CEO of Google made a statement about 4 years ago that kind of took the world at shock. They released the program. Some of you might be aware of it. Some of you might not be aware of it. If this is the first time you are hearing about it, please go and search for it online. Google CEO came up online and told people, and after he said it, it caused a ripple effect across the entire job market in the world, and also, more importantly, in tech. Every tech organization started also following suit. And so Google released a program called the Google, if I'm correct, the Google Graduate Program. And what does that mean? And the CEO came up and said that a degree from a university is not indicative of success and of performance in the place of work. Are you following what I'm saying? Now, I will say these things and my elderly people will fight me. And I'm not just saying this. I'm telling you, I'm going to give you a practical example. This is not, it's only in the US. This is Nigeria. It's happening here, right? People are changing and breaking stereotypes, right? So he came and then announced and said, now because the schools are not catching up, now imagine, he's talking about the US schools, yeah? That they are not catching up, that with the rate of technology changes, that the schools are not preparing graduates enough with the skills that the industry needs. Now, he's complaining about what? US. What do you think, Nigeria, you that you went to FUNAB, or where would you go to, or UI, where do you think you can, and I'm not belittling anybody that works there, but I'm just saying, if the CEO is complaining that Harvard and MIT are not producing good enough guys for them, where is my lot? Are you following what I'm saying? So he came out and then said they released the program. Now, that program, you can check for it, and it's like almost like about a 2-year, sometimes 1-year certificate course. And it says that if you finish the course, you can apply to Google and they will seriously consider you. Just imagine. And if you think of one of the best places to work in the entire world, I don't think you can think further than those guys. Are you following what I'm saying? So now, it means that even the traditional institutions of education are now even being leapfrog, because they are now creating systems outside of that. And let me give you a practical example, since you think, that's not true in Nigeria, you still have to go to school. Okay, great. Something happened again. I love that it happened. I didn't know I'll be using it as example now. It happened about during the COVID time, right? And then shortly after COVID resumed, my younger brother was in school, was at IFE. Second year was on first class. We were really, really proud of him. There was COVID, and they're just trying to go back again. I think there was now a national strike. And then at that time, I was joining Kibo School, right? And so I then walked up to my parents and told them that, Daddy and Mommy, I have a crazy idea. I want to recommend that Victor drops out of school. They say, what are you? I said, why? They asked me why, and I give them the reason. I said, see, Ife, I went to, like you guys, when they were talking about Nepo baby, Lapo baby, I mean, everywhere I've heard of those kind of, I never knew that I was a Lapo baby. I never knew in my mind until I graduated and then finished school and I could not get a job. And I thought, okay, Daddy, use your connection now. And they could not, the best job we could find for me was, and again, I'm sorry that I'm using these examples, but that's just to tell you the story of my life. Was FRSC, was road safety. No, by now I'll be wearing white and stopping your car. Say, park, show me your, do you understand what I'm saying? That's what my daddy, in his greatest, from could get me. Interesting stuff. Now I look at where I am now and where I'm like, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. I didn't have any money, but I knew that's what I was supposed to do. Anyway. And so, I told them, and that's, and then I later knew that my parents would now be paying my school fees. They were still be paying it over a couple of years. That's when I realized that, because there are some parents that they will almost give their left arm. I had parents like that. They will never allow you to know that they are poor. So it was then I realized that even my school fees, they were still repaying it after I graduated. So I knew that I'm a proper Lapo baby. Do you understand? So, and so, what point was I trying to make? So I then told them, like, you guys spent all your money to try to send me to the best possible school you could afford in this country. And they had the best computer science program in the country at the time. And see what we are struggling with. Just that, like, Ife is not even nothing to be compared to that program. I know, even they cannot, like, compare to what I'm saying. So I tell them, let him drop out. Let him join this online school instead. And for some reason, my parents believed me. So they asked him to do. Someone that was already in second year on the first class. So he dropped out and he entered this new school. You get what I'm saying? That things are changing. You don't need to follow the conventional path. Is what I'm trying to emphasize. So he dropped out. In 1 year, my brothers and my sisters, in 1 year, my brother started to work. In 1 year in school, in this new school, US-based institution, like top-tier curriculum, preparing them for the future of work. In 1 year, he already won an hackathon that paid him in +1 in a million, in the million fold. He already started working on the side as a student. And I got to a point I started telling that young man, because it was not a little bit, it was just about a little bit around 18 plus then. I started telling that I did not see 1 million in my life until I was close to my 30s. Just like so I started advising him that this is not how money comes. You save this, you do this. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now we have a new set of problems, not the problem of of lack anymore. What I'm trying to say is that you don't need to follow the conventional path. The world is changing. You need to figure out where the world is going and position yourself rightly in that place. Is that clear? So let me show you some of the things that are changing so that you are aware, right? So that you are aware and you can start thinking about how do I then position myself. Yeah, because that's the key. Sometimes it's not about, I don't think I'm a lot brilliant than a lot of people here. It's just understanding and being, it's what they call insight. Just having insight into what other people don't see. Seeing things different is what gives us an edge in this world. Seeing things differently. Seeing where things are going to, positioning yourself there before it gets there. So I'll walk you through 5 ways that I think the world is changing. The world is changing. And I'll quickly, because I don't know how much time do I have left. Who's watching it for me? And there is no timer here. So how many minutes? 5. Please let me confirm, please. If it's 5, that would be very scary because I've not even touched the stuff. So the first 5 ways. Number 1, the world of work is fast changing. What does that mean? Let me ask you a simple question. Next slide, by the way. Let's move to the next slide. Try and flow with me. I need to rush through this. Can you mention a job that existed 10 to 20 years ago that does no longer exist? Anybody wants to try? Jobs that existed 10 years, just 10 years. Some of you were just in secondary school then, right? So what were those jobs that existed then that don't exist anymore? Some of us were still in primary school. Someone, example, who wants to help me? Sorry? Nobody's saying anything. Even 5 years, 6 years. Ma? Thank you very much. Your clerks, your typewriters, you remember those guys? Do you still see them around? Okay. What about, anybody wants to give me another one before I start giving some of the things on my list? How many of you remember? Thank you very much. God bless you. You remember those guys that used to rent cassettes and give a hair? When I was in primary school, every summer like that, my dad would go to video store and take a box and then gather video cassettes. That's what we're going to watch in. So instead of preparing us for the future of work, we are watching Yo Shugbu, Sharowe, all those kind of weird things. That's what we were watching. May the Lord have mercy on us. So that's what we were watching. Not to our life. Instead of preparing ourselves, this life, you are out to work, but we are just watching Yo Shugbu. You will not be having unnecessary nightmares. So just some of the jobs. I can list some again. How many of you remember recharge card sellers? Do you still have them? So that just shows you how fast, because these are the times that you are still alive. This is not when your grandfather, when you are still alive. So those jobs don't exist anymore. Can you tell me jobs that exist now that did not used to exist 5 years ago? Or 10 years ago, 5 to 10 years ago? Anybody? US, yes, in Nigeria. Even in the world. Social media manager did not exist 10 years ago. Thank you very much. They're now making money now. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm going to be dancing beside in front of, because this tech thing is not making as much money as I want to make. Maybe I'll be dancing too now. Do you understand? They are making money. YouTube. If you tell them you wanted to become a YouTube creator 10 years ago, someone will slap your face. You don't know what to do. Use your life to do. Do you understand? We now have Even podcasts, community managers. Do you understand? These are jobs that did not used to exist. So work is changing really, really fast. Some of you, can somebody take a stab at works that will exist in 10 years that don't exist now? Anybody wants to try? I can give you some already. Eh? I love this one. Drone managers. They will exist in the next couple of years. We don't have them now. So if you want to position yourself, those are great ways to produce. There's quantum programming. There is going to even be vertical farm managers, robot dispatchers. We already have some of them in some other countries already. They will start happening. By 2030, 50% of all the jobs in the world will require some level of technology. I'm not in tech, I'm just in design, I'm in art. Deceive yourself. Every form, at least 50% of it, by 2030 will require some sort of proficiency in digital technology. Tech is transforming roles so fast. So you need to understand that the world of work is changing so far. My slide person has slept off. I'm already in slide 8. So work is changing really, really fast. What else again is the world of work looking like? The world of work is now becoming increasingly global. Increasingly global. What do I mean by increasingly global? Let me show you a slide. Go to my keyboard team slide. My keyboard team, just fast forward through that. Let me show you something. While I was at Kibo, I'm no longer at Kibo anymore. While I was at Kibo, I was leading teams across this one, and I was leading them from Abeokuta. From where? Abeokuta. So I had teammates, in Nigeria, some of them in Lagos, Ibadan. Some of them were in Qatar, some New York, Nairobi, Accra, and I was leading them from Obantoko, somewhere here. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that the world is becoming increasingly global. You're not always competing with the students in FUNAB. Now you're competing with guys who graduated from MIT, from Harvard. I'm telling you the truth. And I used to share this story humorously. I had this great opportunity to apply for a job. I was so proud and I was so confident. I was already calculating how I'm going to move to my apartment, change my wardrobe, because I was so confident I was going to get a job. And the salary was that kind of salary that when you enter, your life has changed. Do you understand what I'm saying? Kind of salary that you know that now poverty is ended. No prayer, you just know. You know the kind of salary? Okay. As I'm even saying, is some of this kind of salary. In our different minds, they are different. Some of you just saying, if I 500K, poverty has ended. It is well. Anyway, so I went into that meeting because I was, again, uniquely qualified. I knew it's not just about, it was not false confidence in that sense, but again, it turned out to be false confidence later. When I got into the final stage of the interview, thinking, I wore my suit thinking, I'm just about to bamboozle this person, I didn't realize that we were 10. And in that 10, there were about 8 countries represented. That's when I knew I might not get this job. And sure as I thought, after 2 weeks, they told me, we are sorry, we have moved on to a better candidate. Then I became humble myself. I was like, okay, now we need to go back to school. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are not as good as you think you are. You are competing with different people from different countries. And so therefore, you need to think about what will give me a hedge over these guys. And be intentional. Sometimes even be merciless with the way you are going to discipline yourself to learn. Okay. In my own place, you can ask them. I bought some of them. Like, we work from 9 to 9. Like nobody is playing. Like, the world is not playing. The world is not waiting. You have to learn. Anyway, so let's move on. There was an interesting phenomenon that happened. Now, nobody noticed. Because I was studying these things, and that's one of my own hobbies. I love to study these kind of things. An interesting phenomenon happened for the first time in the history of this country last year, at the beginning of this year. Oh, no, last year. And let me tell you, because we keep complaining about there is no job. I don't think that thing is true. I think it's completely false. Do you know that the amount of companies globally that started to hire remote workers on the continent increased by 800% last year? Increased by 800%. That's 8 times. Just think about it. US guys, UK guys, Canadian guys, intentionally hiring from Nigeria increased by 800%. Why is it they did not find you? Are you following what I'm saying? Were you even aware that it increased by 800%? when you see young people driving Lexus or Mercedes, not all of them are Yahoo boys. If you are still at that level, that's why you are where you are. Not all of them are Yahoo boys. I still got stopped, even with my small American, they still stopped me today. I was like, why do you expect young people to be poor? Are you following what I'm saying? Why is it an expectation? Say, who owns the car? Are you all right, sir? Moving on. So that is what the future of work looks like. It's increasingly global. Another thing about the future of work is that the future of work is African. Now, pay attention. God has created us a unique advantage. If you don't make it in this generation, I don't know. And I'm not trying to put you under undue pressure, because right now the world is beaming a light and a major focus on Africa. And I'll tell you why. Let me show you some couple of graphs. Thank God that your slide is working. I've been at events last week that it was really, really frustrating. Let me show you. So number one, on the continent of Africa, that black portion that you can see is the portion of all of us that are under 30. So we have an increasing, a surprising amount of young people. Again, it could be an advantage to me. When people are saying, oh, we are celebrating it, oh, that's good. I'm always thinking like, maybe our old people are dying quickly. Because I don't understand. Why do we only have young people? But anyway, it's an advantage for now. Don't think about the negative side. My mind works in weird ways sometimes. But positive side is that we are all young. Moving on. Now, no, go back. Go back, please, if you can. Now, this is the youth population projection of the entire world. See that yellow, orange color? That's Africa. We are increasing in population as if no man business. Other continents, they are either remaining at the same level or they are reducing. There are many different things. Only Africa is increasing, which means that 1/3 or 1.3 billion of the working age people, 1/3 of the world's working population will be in Africa. And that's why we are seeing that boom of guys hiring from Nigeria and Africa, basically. It's because the people who are available to work are not in their country anymore. They are now in Nigeria. Are you following what I'm saying? All the young people are now here. So for the first time, you will begin to see there's going to be an huge demand for Nigerian talent. Not only Nigerian talent, which needs to my next slide. Nigerian content. This is the season. Are you following what I'm saying? That's why you see these guys are blowing up. Not only these guys in the world, even our own gospel musicians. You now see Nathan Abasa is singing with. When did this one start? Frank Edwards, Moses Bliss is singing with, Don Moore. I was like, where did you meet yourself? It's because there is now a huge demand. Maker blew up everywhere. They translated it into more. Why? There's a huge demand. Are you following what I'm saying? For African content, this is the time for you to shine. All this you're funny that you're not making people laugh in your room. You need to take it out. Are you following what I'm saying? Don't be. There is money to be there, to be made out there. Did you guys see that documentary that was released about content creators in Nigeria? Go and search for it. I don't know what you are watching. You'll be watching Jennifer. That's the problem. Eh? You are not watching the things that will shift your life. That's the problem. They've released a documentary about the amount of money your life, your shank, your way again, Mark Angel, the amount of money that those guys are making will scare you. So if you are funny, please stop wasting this funniness. Do you understand what I'm saying? See me now, carrying content up and down. I don't like, I am a private person, but now we have to be posting. We have to post. Are you for? You think I like all these things? I bet. Okay, it is well. So, the world is changing. The world is changing. And you really need to know this, right? And as well, the other thing I want to also mention, again, I prepared this slide in rush. This was supposed to be another major point. But again, the world doesn't follow, conventional tradition of career. And this is my career, basically. This is my career map. That larger one that you saw, this is the one summarized. So in 2016, I started my career as a web developer. Are you following what I'm saying? So again, you think that, because you started as a web developer, then you continue as a web developer for the rest of his life. It's not true. We now have none. You are free. Nobody is tying you down to a career. Are you following what I'm saying? Where the opportunity be stack up competencies like crazy. Stack up competencies. So I started as a web developer, became a programs manager 2018. Later, I saw that, data and AI, became a data scientist. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm in product management and AI. Are you following what I'm saying? Nothing. Is there money there? I am there. You understand what I'm saying? I can learn anything. No, I'm not good in this. Not good where? I will sit down there and learn. You can take one. Maybe you take you 1 week to learn. Maybe it's me to take 1 month. I will spend that 1 month there. The question I will ask you, is money there? Yes. Let's go. Are you following what I'm saying? Some of you don't be. I see young people locking themselves out of opportunities. They say, I'm not good in this one. I'm not. What do you mean you are not good? It's when you have money, you have the luxury to say, no, I'm not good. I'm good. You don't have money, and you are complaining you are not good. Are you following? Again, I always encourage people, go to your area of your strength. But sometimes, man, so for example, there was this opportunity that, I told people to apply for. I told my folks to apply for. And someone was saying that I'm not good. 5 more minutes. Jesus. Anyway, let's rush. But that's the point that was being made, is that you can learn anything. If you put your heart to it, you can learn anything. Don't let anybody tell you you are not good in one area, then you can't learn it. And another interesting thing is, again, the future of work or the current work is female. I hope you guys know. Okay. And it's a problem for African men. Do you know it's a problem? We need to go and learn leadership again, because your babes now, they will have money. And see, I'm not even... 60% of the UK's wealth, by the end of this year, will be in the hands of women. There's a serious rise of women, money flowing into women. If you come to tech now, there's women in tech. Have you ever heard of men in tech? People are creating opportunities for them. That's why. So women would have abundance. So don't be deceived by this social media. See, anytime you see, one of the ways to discern what God is doing is to see what Satan is trying to promote. All these, what do you call them now? All these people that are selling their body online, the cider budge, is the reason why that thing is gaining ascendancy is because God is doing something else. Are you following what I'm saying? Women are making serious money. And I tell people, especially in tech, if you, a man and a woman, start learning something now or tech, there's a greater chance that that girl or that woman or that lady will get an opportunity faster than you will. Whether you disagree with me, this is data. I'm not the one. 30 trillion, the amount of women in the US I expect to control by 2030. That's never ever happened on planet Earth before. There's a rise of women in that are going to be wealthy. So now, men, you need to grow your size of leadership to evolve. It cannot be because you do not do what I do. I'll now withdraw my money from you. The woman has her own money. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Wisdom for the wise. Anyway, I'm going to move on. That's not why I came here. But I hope that women, this is not the time to be depending on one guy. You do your work. You will find ample opportunity. Are you following what I'm saying? If somebody's going to give you money, let it be additional. Not that that's your sole dependency. Don't sell your body for work. There is opportunity for you. If you apply yourself, you'll be surprised at the opportunities you will see. So, in summary, I've talked about 5 major things. I said, and please go to the next slide. I've said that it is fast, jobs are fast changing, they are decentralized, they are non-linear, there's African, and we are seeing the rise of female. So then, what approach should you take? How do we then build this African dream? I really believe that there are 3 ways, and I'm going to try and rush it. They said my time remains 5 minutes. Please, when it's time, just come and send me away, because I still have, my slide is still plenty. So wherever I stop, just give me warning, I would get off your way. But hope you have been blessed. I hope you've at least learned something so far. Okay, great. So, approach. I have 3 major strategies, and this is something I'm also practicing daily, intentionally, consistently. I'm also recommending it to you. Number 1, gain mastery. And I'm going to explain what I mean by mastery subsequently. So, mastery, gain mastery. Develop a builder's mentality. What I said, call it builders. It's very, very important. I will explain what it means as well. And then develop a global perspective. You see, you don't, because you are in Abeokuta does not mean time up. I should take my time. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Now let us take our time. Anyway, don't mind me. I still have to be somewhere this evening, so I will still try and rush through. So let's talk about mastery. You need to, when it comes to developing skills and competencies, you need to get to a stage where you'll be unmistakably great. I follow what I'm saying? I used to think that this thing was a force until I started touching a bit of it. And I'm telling you this thing from the bottom of my heart. Every time you spend investing in yourself is not a waste. I'm telling you. And be aggressive about it. I know it's going to be a sacrifice. Some of us don't have as many friends as you do. Why? Because the time I'm using for friends, what am I doing? I'm learning something. I'm tackling a project. So it's a sacrifice. And you have to be willing to make that sacrifice. Some of these things take sacrifice. Do you know when this things I started paying off in my life now? I'll give again. I'm not trying to paint myself as something, but just try to give you what it looks like. Because it might be too small here. I'm already starting to touch what mastery actually feels like. I'm just talking recently. 2 things happened to me recently, which has further. If people look at me and say, "This guy does like too much work," I'll just look at them like, "If you thought I liked work before, I am about to enter into another level of liking work." Why? You know, people apply for jobs before they get jobs, and I used to apply for jobs before I get a job. Well, I think by the grace of God, I've stepped into a new level. So my current job, I did not apply for it. Interestingly enough. And they offered me the job, trying to convince me over an expensive dinner. You hear what I'm saying? Over what? If you carried out the menu and you don't understand anything that is there, that's the kind of. So I just took it by faith. They must not know I come from Abeokuta. I need to pack it myself. So I don't understand the menu. I just saw that one is lamb. I was like, okay, at least lamb. We know lamb now. The lamb of God. It just has to be. Just pick it. So you're like, okay, it's meat and cheese and everything. But again, and I was there and I'm just thinking like, yeah. The time you investing in yourself, it might be a sacrifice, but it pays off. Recently, as well, I got a LinkedIn message. We are recruiting this into this leadership team, and we think that your profile. I thought it was like, this is a scam. Like, yeah. So I kind of just like, okay. I didn't even respond to them to 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, later I was like, why am I rejecting opportunities? I was like, okay, let's just hear them out. So I had a call with them last week, and I'm surprised. Say, because of this, look at your profile. I'm like, yeah. All the time spent sacrificing, building stuff, taking on put that nobody sent me. It does not go to waste. All this thing you are spending time serving in church is not going to waste. Are you following what I'm saying? I stumbled on a role called Chief Party Officer. I immediately came to my mind that I know somebody can do this. She likes to organize parties. She's the life of the party. There's a role. Chief, I take the remuneration, 2 million naira. Somebody, 2 million as chief what? Something like me. Is that even a job? What I'm trying to say is that all this thing that you are spending developing yourself doesn't go to waste. All this time you're spending serving in church, in taking volunteer roles, it does not go to waste, especially if you know how to package them. So gather mastery. Put yourself to deliberate practice. Even till now, I still think people think I'm a workaholic. I personally still feel I'm very lazy, and there's way more that I can do than I'm doing right now. So deliberate practice, intentional. When people are sleeping, you are studying. Be intentional about it. Don't pity yourself, because poverty will not pity us. Maybe you don't. I know I have tasted a bit of poverty, so I know that poverty does not pity. I used to work at Ashewo there, and I did not have enough money to travel, so I would pay. Oh, Jesus. I will now turn it to prayer work. See, don't pity yourself. Number 2, benchmark against the best. Benchmark against the best. Who are the best in this field? And some of them are not Nigerians, so you will have to learn. I got to a stage where, I started sounding like people that were not in this country. And people say, again, a case in point. I joined this company, it's a remote company. They asked me, Sean, where do you stay? Where do you work at from? And I kind of hesitated because, everybody was saying they're journeying from UK, and I can't say Abeokuta. So I kind of hesitated a bit. Before they say, oh, you look like someone that is journeying from London. I just kept quiet. You are the one that said so. Do you understand what I'm saying? And why did they assume that? It's because there's a way to talk. There's a way to present concepts. There's a way to... and when you are doing that, people just assume that you are working. They don't even see where you're coming from. They don't like you are part of us. You understand these minds. Are you following what I'm saying? Learn how to talk. Don't be opening your mouth and saying, hello. Learn how to talk. Queen's English. Practice your phonetics. It is very important. I used to give an example of one of my friends. His name is Chukwu Emeka. When he got to my company, he changed his name to Emmy. Like, that's it. Package it. Because how will you person be announcing Chukwu Emeka? Just you package it to Emmy. Learn how to. It's not packaging. It's not even a packaging nonsense. When you are packaging something good, it's very good. Are you following what I'm saying? Okay, I hope I've not lost you. Get certifications, get credentials, validate your expertise. If you know how to do something, if there is a certificate to prove that you know how to do it, go get that certificate. And this is one of the best things. This is my own critical strength. I create portfolio of excellence. All the work you are doing, put them somewhere. I never allow any of them go to waste. I remember my very first, one of the very first CVs I wrote. I served as the evangelism secretary of NCCF. Guess how I put it inside my CV? I put it there. I said, I led. I didn't say I'm rugged. None of those say I'm rugged. I said, I led a non-profit initiative leading about 600 and something core members on an humanitarian. Are you seeing what I'm saying? Would they tell me that? Would they ask me if it is the gospel I went to go and preach? Is it not humanitarian? Is it not humanitarian? Are they not? Is that not the leadership skill that you're looking for in companies? Then you package it really well. You are a head of ushering unit. Package it. You package it. I ensure that the ambience, of just understand is really reflective and conducive for learning. Are you not learning the word of God? So it's learning. So I created a portfolio of excellence. I made sure, and that's why everywhere they put me, I'm always really nice. Always on the results. We have to produce excellent results because it's going to be used somewhere. And why I say that you need to develop mastery, and please, I want to make, and please don't let this analogy escape you forever and ever. It must stick to your head in the name of Jesus. Next slide. I call it the ROI, return on investment of being world class. Please follow me. Now, may you get this thing and get it forever in Jesus' name. Now, this is software engineers. This is their average earnings. We are not using Nigeria, please. Show you guys, it's not Nigeria, it's US. Average earning is $120,000 per year. But the people who are not just average, who are in the top 1% of software engineers, how much do they make? 1.2. It's the same job. But somebody said that he's going to go one step further. Okay, somebody's trying to zoom it for me. That is 10 times the price of the average. Now, let's go to the next job. Let me zoom out again. It's consulting. Average, guys, 150K. Right? Top 1%, if you're a partner, how much are you earning? 1.5. Same job, same competencies, same everything. But because you have separated yourself, you earn 10 times. Professional sports, that was even the worst one. If you are playing NBA in minor league, $50,000 per year. If you are Michael Jordan or LeBron James, how much are they earning? 15. That's times 1,000%. Don't stop at just being competent enough. Stop at being crazily good. Are you hearing what I'm saying? That you become world class indeed. That if they take you to anywhere in the world, what? World class. That's what you must not stop. The gap between good in this world, the gap between good and world class is not linear at all. It's exponential. Especially, I tell people in tech, you might be suffering right now, but if you keep stacking up the skills, your next job can be times 4, times 5. I'm telling you, it has happened to me. There's somebody who was threatening me, if you want to leave. I called off someone COVID one day and said, okay, sir, I'm leaving. My next job was times 3. I could not believe my eyes. I could not. They said that I was useless here before. Now, times what? Times 3. Keep stacking up the skills. Don't stop. Keep stacking it. Stack it. Because the difference between good and world class is not linear. It's completely exponential. Your next job can change your life. Keep stacking the skills. Are you following what I'm saying? So let's quickly move. So the next one is you have to keep learning. And this is the one thing I used to challenge my people. Is I met a brother and he meant it to sincerely with all his heart. I just look at him and say, brother, can I tell you the truth? You are not too old. He was telling me, I'm too old to learn this thing, I wish I had learned when I was in university, but now I have 2 kids. I cannot learn it again. I said, 82 years old, learned how to code, and he built a mobile game for other old people. 82 years old. Are you 82? No. Please go back and study. Your brain is not, you are the one that makes your brain feel old. It's not old. You can still learn, can still pick up concepts. You are not too old to learn. Are you know what I'm saying? So if you are a mother here, don't give up on yourself. Because I say people are just at 35. I say, well, it's going to be I want to just invest in my children now. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? So you're going to invest in meaningless? You are just 40, 45. You're already giving up? Are you joking? You can redefine yourself again. Hear the voice of the Spirit. God is talking to somebody now. So go back and keep building. Builder's mindset. Whatever you are learning, don't stop at just learning. Make sure you practice and build something. I tell people everybody, they say they are data analysts. They say they know how to use Power BI. Interesting. But these guys took the skill and started to apply it on a product that was great. So how many of you have heard of budget? I have a budget. Anybody? Thank you very much. What is body doing? They are not doing anything spectacular. It's simply data analysis of Power BI. Power BI can do all these things, but what they do, they're analyzing your government's budget and how they are spending and their expenditure. And they present and they go funded so crazily that this man has enough money to start his own innovation of himself. He now started even funding other startups. You know what I'm saying? But again, sometimes you can have the skill. It's always about how do you apply it. If you're using your skill to do something useless, somebody's using that same skill, right, to do something, the difference will be clear. The result you produce will be different. So it's not about just gathering the skills, it's about how do I use it? What do I use that skill to do? This same photography that somebody is snapping, you know there are photographers that sell their work at ridiculous amounts, and it's the same photography. You know what I'm saying? So you need to learn, how do I then apply this new skill that I've gotten in a creative, completely different way? Are you following what I'm saying? There are graphic designers that are earning. I should wrap up. Yes, I'm wrapping up now. They are about to send me away. So there are graphic designers that earn, 1.5, 2 million. And there are graphic designers that are in Japan. It's 10K per design. I'm not trying. Do you understand what I'm saying? 5K, 2K. It's the same graphics design. Build. Always build. Develop an entrepreneur's mindset. And the last one, I'm going to wrap up now. Think beyond borders. Think beyond Abeokuta. Think beyond Nigeria. Think global. I once made a rule. They thought I was being hard on them. I gave a rule to my people. I told them, as from today on, I had this vision and I had this dream, and I was praying. The Lord told me. And I also gave it to them as a rule. I said, stop applying to Nigerian companies. They're like, what do you mean? I said, stop. Their parents will come and say, oh, we have this. I remember someone said his father got him a job in Abuja. We're going to pay him 150. I told him, don't take it. He went and told his parents and said, I'm not taking it. They were angry. I said, who is that person giving you bad advice? Now, he is thanking God that I gave him that advice. And I'm not saying you should not work for Nigerian companies. Please, if that's the job that you have now, please focus on it. It's very, job is serious already, but again, aim beyond this place. There are opportunities beyond this place. And I'm not joking. Ample. Build, think beyond this realm. Think, follow global news, work with diverse team, learn a new language, adapt to different business norms. I can give you plenty. So when I first got to this US company, I was calling my boss. She was a lady. I was telling her, good afternoon, ma. She said, if you stop calling me, ma, just call me by my name. I said, you don't pay my salary. I cannot be calling you. I said, call me by my name. Like, okay. Until she threatened to remove my salary, that's when I learned, because I was very well trained. Good afternoon. I said, no, ma, just say good afternoon, okay, I'll move on. I'm missing stuff. So again, you need to learn all these things. And how do you build a global network? You need to build a global. I used to tell my people, all your contact lists should just be Rashida, Kunle, Latifa, that is there. Have a Sean. Are you getting what I'm saying? Have a Walter. Build network intentionally. How do you build that? You attend events. How do you build that? You go on LinkedIn, send them messages. You'll be surprised at how willing they are to talk to you. Send them messages, ask them questions. Take global courses. In those global courses, there will be these guys also in the US taking those courses. Become friends. That's how you get to meet some of these people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Not everybody is just Rashida Kunle on your contact. You don't even have what is. Be global. Be global. And I'm not saying that you should not have local friends. Have local friends, but also have global friends. What you just like, the truth is that if you start having global friends, you start getting global opportunities. Are you know what I'm saying? Okay. Leverage digital platforms, stay ahead of trends. One thing I do is always focus on trends. What is trending? I can tell you three roles that won't take you time. If you spend your time in it, in the next 6 months, you will get a really, really great opportunity. Should I give some of those roles? Number one, write them down. If you can go and study, go and find them online. Then automations. Right now, automations and business process automation is really, when web and software engineering was the key thing, it's shifting from web and software now, it's moving to automations. And it's not hard to learn. Right? If you dedicate 3, 4 months, 6 months, you will get it. And you'll be surprised at the amount of opportunities that are there. Learn it. You are not too old to learn. Learn it. There's automation. There's even right now, Ugo, I don't know if you guys are aware of these guys. They're coming and employing massively in Nigeria now. Even data annotation is selling now. Learn it. I'm now also realizing, because there's a lot of people that want to go into content now. Video editors are now in high demand too as well. So learn. These are interesting skills for you to also learn. Think and operate at scale. Let me just fast forward, because now, let me give you an action plan so that you can at least have something that you can action plan, like almost an assignment. I'm not going to be there to market. It's you are your result that would market. Number one, assess your skill. Right now, what do you have? Audit your personal skill. audit your brand, and benchmark against world class. I do this every time. I go and check the best person in my line. Check, the guys who are the McKinsey's, check all their skills, check their education, what are they learning, what course did they take. I write it down. I plan it. I'm going to take this year or next year. Ask my people, I'm going to send them this course, I'm going to write this exam. I know what I'm going to take next. I'm not there saying, Lord, what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do next. Because I'm studying these people, seeing what they are taking, the courses they are taking, the places they are going to learn, how they position themselves, how they write their you see people's LinkedIn profile. Like, this guy is from Abeokuta. I can see it's from Abeokuta. In fact, it's from Obantoko. You will see. Because the way we write, like, go and study. Before you write your own LinkedIn bio, those don't job. Go and study. You are a product manager, right? Go and check. A product manager in Google, how did they write his bio? That's what you should be using. Benchmark against the very best. Skill up. Identify 1 or 2 areas that you want to skill up, and also enroll in a global certification in it. Number 3, network. Connect with 5 global professionals this month. Try and just send them messages. Send them LinkedIn requests and explain to them why you just like their profile, what you like to learn from them. And number 4, undertake a project. Take one project and try and solve it. Get one project. It could be from your learning course. Don't just have the skill. Have something to back it up with. And as I wrap up, the best investment you would ever make is in yourself. Do it now and get started. Thank you very much. And you can then follow me on that handle. Thank you very much, and God bless you. I don't know if I...
Please, let's put our hands together once again for Oluwaseun Hamzat. Thank you so very much. Now it's time for question and answer. We're almost done. If you have any question for him or concerning the panel session we had earlier, kindly signify by raising your hand, and then we'll come to you. And okay, so Dorcas. Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation, sir. My name is Joanna Bamdele. And my question is, talking about the global network, there's a high level of competitors analysis. Like, you have quite a number of competitors that have the same skill, that have even better skills with you. And then you are trying to compete as a Nigerian. I feel like it's a limiting factor, though. There's a way you watch an American content and you're like, oh, this is much nicer. Maybe the way they do it or the stuff they do. Then how do we not think about our limitations, but think over our limitations and take our space, take what we should stand for as a Nigerian? That's my question.
Go ahead, please. Yes.
Okay, great question. And I know that you asked that question because it's very, very important. Sometimes you're thinking, when will I ever get to this level, Self? And it's a great question, and I think it should even spur you to start early and just keep pushing. But the truth is that the hack for it, especially for me, but the hack I use is really simple. I don't, how will I put it? I look for skill that everybody is learning, like skills that, or technologies that are just new, that both I and the white man, we are all starting from scratch, and we're starting to learn from scratch. So you don't have an advantage than me, right? We are all starting because it's just a new technology. Nobody really knows it. So a good example is that automation thing I'm talking about, right? There are not a lot of people. There are people who do it and who are good, but there are not people who like really, really. The guys who do it are guys who are software engineers and just do it as an added thing that they can leverage, top up there. But nobody really takes it as like a full-blown career. Now people are taking it as a full-blown career, which means that all of us, if we start learning now, anybody would have an experience than you, probably not have more than 2-3 years experience, which you can catch up with intense practice, and consistency. You can catch up with those people. There are people who started their career before me 4 years. Now we are almost at the same level. Do you understand? And the reason is, the kind of intensity that you would push, you would go at it with. You are not them, They can be enjoying eating, taking tea after work. You don't have that time. Double down. So I think for me, it's always finding where is the next big thing where nobody has really, has not been crowded yet. And then I go there. So all of us are starting at the same level. All of us are talking at that same stage. So I think that's number one, a great place to start. And then number two as well, even if there are thousands of people, for example, I think you kind of alluded to content in your explanation. Their content is not our content. Their context is not our context, right? I know one girl, and I know she's going to blow up. She will say it and say, this is 100 days and something till I blow up. And she's just using her phone and say, and she will even tell you that I'm recording using this terrible phone. It's not good, but one day we go change them. And she kept on doing releasing a post every single day. And she made it funny. And now I'm studying monitoring and it's growing. She's really motivating me now. I'm thinking because I want to do content too, but I'm shy, how to make money. So I'm looking at that girl like, at least me, I have camera, I have mic. Just this one does not even have anything. But again, for me, it's anything you put in effort, if you're consistent with it, you'll be surprised. And this one thing that one of my mentors told me, he said, if people work, oh my goodness, this is so good. If people work 8 hours per day, and the truth is that many people, they say they work 8 hours, but they'll use like 30 minutes, 1 hour for break. So that's about 77 hours per day. Some of them will even come late. So let's say about people, roughly, they work 6 hours per day. And you flip it on the head and do 12 hours, like I'm currently doing per day. You will catch up with anybody, no matter how far they've gone.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. So consistency, then starting where people are also starting together as well. Switch, you will catch up.
Thank you. Any other question? Do we have anyone with question? All right. Thank you so very much. Let's put our hands together once again for Oluwaseun Hamzat. Thank you. And we're done for the day. To wrap it all up, to wrap today's session up, I would like to invite our pastor. I would like to invite the youth leader in person of Dr. Dotun Bayegun. Let's put our hands together for him.
Thank you very much, Miriam. It's been an impactful evening, I must say. It's been very enlightening, eye-opening. And I want to first thank the leadership of the house for the opportunity to have this section. It's been very, very great. Our appreciation goes to our esteemed panelists and the keynote speaker. Thank you very much, sirs and mas. We appreciate your time, your commitment to the development of the next generation of youth in Nigeria. We are so grateful. And so it's a wrap for the Business and Career Summit of the DaySpring Festival 2025. And we continue again tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning is big, 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 and big. It's our Food Fest and Praise Jam. It's our Food Fest and Praise Jam with 30 different dishes. 30 different dishes. Please come, invite your friends, invite your family members, your neighbor. The program starts tomorrow morning by 6 a.m. with prayer for young men. By 6 a.m., young men from age 18 to 40 years. You'll be meeting with Pastor Fab tomorrow morning by 6 a.m. for a fatherly prayer section. Then by 8 o'clock in the morning, we have the medical outreach. Please bring everybody. Free medical checkup will start taking place from here by 8 a.m. By 11 a.m., we have the food fest. So from 11 a.m., the different groups in church will start bringing in their dishes, those that efuloju, bread and beans, toasted bread, salad and rice, jollof rice, fried rice, salad, basmati, coconut rice, banga, eba and egusi and the likes will be available tomorrow. And by 2 p.m., the praise jam starts. Please bring your dancing shoes. And the wealth of nations like a flowing stream. Goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our lives, and we shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Amen. God bless you. See you tomorrow. Young men, 6 a.m. Medical checkup, 8 a.m. Food first, 11 a.m. And the praise